camp. I'm going to keep moving back. They're coming around the side here. You can see they've got a straight shot to my location. We have groups of people scattered throughout camp. You can see helicopter directly overhead, hovering potentially 60 to 80 feet above me. Helicopter's so close, just blew my press badge up. Still have it on. They seem to be holding the location on the hill. Now moving in more Humvees, 4 on the hill. Haven't approached the structures over there. Share the video out. They're not coming down from the hills, the last child camp so far. Looks like right flank, they're moving back through the structures of Old Red Warrior. I have an MRAP on the right. And then a thing, yeah, we're not in the best spot, but we're in the best spot for being here because they could come down here. I was right there about 2 minutes ago, and that's a terrible spot.
You said something about like they're lined up at Rosebud?
Yeah, it sounds like they're outside, but they haven't gone in.
All right. You said that the river.
They do seem to be lined up on the river. All right, so you can see them on side-by-sides behind. Looks like they're making quick work going through Old Red Warrior. I could see 2 bulldozers and 2 cranes. Sorry, 2 bulldozers and another moving device. You can see the helicopter still ahead. We've seen multiple arrests. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, at least 14 military vehicles. You can see the MRAP right there. I'm hearing multiple feeds are going down. Mine's on a different setup so I could stay up. So good luck trying to jam me, Dapple. If I do go down, it's not because I went down. I'm gonna stay live. They seem to be holding their position right now as they clear structures. It looks like they're protecting it for the bulldozers. You can see multiple moving structures. You can see movement over here. They're now moving past the main road. Approaching somebody on the road. It looks like 3 people in that area. People on the structure. I'm gonna take cover behind this building over here. See if I can get you a better view. They could get up to here, but not quite at my location. Top of a mattress right now. You can see by the old building. Connection's weak. I'm going to move off this location. You can see we got tarpies in this area. Good cover. There's a semblance of a group right there. We got some media on the ground. I don't know if they're doing live footage. My guess is not. Most everything's jammed. Smelling heavy smoke in this area. I don't know what it is. So share the video out, send your prayers. I'm live at the Oceti Oyate Liberation Camp. As Chase Iron Eyes has said, camp that stood since the middle of August. I've been covering this since July when I met the runners on their 2,000-mile run from the Great Sioux Nations here in the Dakotas all the way to Washington, D.C., 2,000 miles. Been here on the ground since beginning of August. Currently, they're slowly sweeping through camp. Okay, it looks like they're moving up again. Advancing slowly. I am taking photos and videos at the same time, higher quality. You can see it looks like National Guard soldiers are walking through the main entrance. Echo 1 that's burned down. Helicopters keeps on coming by. You can hear chants of No Dapple and Mini Wichoni. Water is life all throughout camp. I don't know if you can hear them. There's people on bicycles. There's some people retreating back to Meaty Hill. I don't think that's good cover. It's fairly open ground. I'm going to try to stay in this general location. This is muddy. It's hard to move in for them to come at me or anybody in this location. So there's a group over here. I'm going to get on top of one of these snow hills. Share the video out. This is live from the Oceti Oyate Camp. Okay, I can see feds have lined up in front of Rosebud. It looks like they haven't yet entered, but they're blocking the Cannonball Bridge on the reservation side. From what I've heard, preventing people from leaving on the bridge or getting in. You can still get in through Rosebud if you cross the river. So if you are watching this from the camp, you can still get across the river safely. See Facebook Hill. All right, I'm gonna move off this. I'm in fairly open terrain. Count 5 Humvees in the main road, right off Old Flag Row. So I'm now on top of that snow pile. I'm gonna zoom in for you, you can see. Okay, screen's not zooming. You can see Facebook Hill from here. Main road is now blockaded off by the National Guard, soldiers or police, I'm unsure. Every time I've seen those vehicles, it has been National Guard though.
And the coyote dog just walking around.
You can see one guy on a bike rolling around. People still moving fairly slowly, even with soldiers about, it's like 100 yards away from their location there. I'm gonna do a quick 360 around camp so you can see. Now I'm panning towards Rosebud. I'm gonna zoom in. You can see right there's feds on the bridge. Sounds like BIA, they've yet to move into Rosebud. We don't know if they will.
They're blocking the bridge too, huh?
Yeah, they are for sure blocking the bridge. So as I continue the 360, you can see camp is mostly clear of structures. This is the Cannonball Riverside. You can see scattering of people closer to the exit. You can see surveillance plane going overhead. Now we're getting a fifth. Okay, so we're movement. They're now marching towards the main bridge. I'm moving off this location. So they have people going through. There's no structures over here, so I anticipate them going near my location or up to Facebook Hill. I'm gonna take cover over here. People don't seem to be seeing a sense of urgency. They're gonna arrest these people. Send your prayers. They can move quick. They've got armored vehicles. This mud is fairly solid right now. So you can see they've taken the half of camp. I'd say 35% of camp has been taken over, but half of the remaining camp is open space, so they can zoom across that space. Gonna get a sound check. Looks like 6 or 7 military vehicles now on main row. Riot Police and MRAPs lined up, ready to approach this grouping of buildings on Old Flag Row. Several flags remain. Burned out structures. You can see the guy, that's where I was, about 50 yards in front. I moved back. I don't think that's a safe location anymore. You can see the heavy wind. Bit obscured here, I can't judge movement. If you're watching, share this out. It feels like a war zone. There's the remains of burned out structures still smoking. The planes and the helicopters, one helicopter, keep on going. People are retreating. You can see with whatever they can carry to get out of camp on sleds or wagons or backpacks. We still have some movable items. Feds have yet to cross or holding that space. The road is clear from Echo 1 location onwards towards the Cannonball Bridge, but you can't cross. I've yet to see Rob Wilson. I don't know where he was. He got here a little bit before me. See the helicopter keeps on circling overhead. You don't get moving, these people don't keep moving, they're gonna get arrested. There's large groups of people in these structures right now and around. You can see a snowmobile leaving right now. I'd estimate at least 40 to 50 people in this short vicinity, which may give them pause before approaching. I don't have gloves on, so it's hard for me to zoom in and out. The helicopter seems to be providing surveillance for structures. They may have thermal. My guess is MRAP vehicle has moved up to about 40 yards from the road. People are staying in that location. Helicopter keeps on circling overhead. So if you're just tuning in, I'm at the Oceti Oyate Liberation Camp. It's been here since August. Peaceful, prayerful camp. It held as many as 15,000 water protectors. You can see the vehicles are now flanking to get a wide array. See 1, 2, 3 are lining up a line. I anticipate they're going to come right at this building. You can see that's 50 yards in front of me. On my other camera, I have heavier zoom. You can see now 5 vehicles are lined up in the line. I think they're gonna make a run across and go at these people, just like they did yesterday. You can see, looks like either a very short person or a child on a bike with a dog down in the base of Facebook Hill. I'd estimate at least 14 military vehicles are now lined up over about a 250 yard, 300 yard range. I think I've got enough cover. I'm going to go in one more time before they come across to get everybody a better view here. Going one more time. I think they're readying, so they're not going to move in right now. There's structures in the way and mud. I'm going to get in close. You can see here. You hear the shutter? That's me and my flash. Okay, I'm gonna pass an imaginary boundary here. I think I'm the furthest person out right now. You can see I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna have to move quick if I'm flanked. Overhead, hovering about 40 feet on top of me. You can see movement, so I'm going to flank back. No water on the camera. Huge splash. I think I've zoomed back out. Okay, we have movement into past the Leonard Peltier bus. You can see their movement. They may be able to take this road, so I'm going to retreat back to the structure that I was at. You can still see the helicopter seems to follow me around here. They have moved beyond Old Red Warrior Camp. They're now moving into media area. They're coming around. They're coming down the road. I don't know how far they're gonna go. They got a straight shot of dry land to the retreat point. Hey. They've taken about half of camp so far, and they're lining up to come this way.
Are they moving methodical or just sort of willy-nilly?
Planned, not necessarily methodical, but they have a plan. I want to share this video out. It's Johnny Dangerous reporting inside the Oceti Oyate Liberation Camp. Time is 12:15. Police are giving away their potential movements by how the helicopter is circling. where the helicopter's going, the police are going next. Far enough back, I think I could say that. So if the helicopter's in your area, I would bounce. They're moving into the area previously right in front of the dome, approaching Facebook Hill. I haven't seen a lot of movement on Facebook Hill. My guess is it's not occupied. Feds are still waiting outside Rosebud. 4 or 5 vehicles. See snowmobile exiting. Riot Police now moving to the right, flanking, like I said, where the helicopter is going. Moving into a large expanse of land. The Humvees and the military surplus vehicles seem to be covering their movement. They're going to have to stay at the camp to hold this space. It's too vast to cover.
I don't know what they're going to do with these two water protectors who are praying, but we'll... They're praying. Police are advancing
the area of,
with live ammunition.
Rosebud. You can see feds have still not moved into Rosebud. Helicopter still keeps on coming over. Snowmobiles moving things in and out.
Right. We are also being filmed by what appears to be military. Inside the Humvee was just taking a picture of everyone here. And they are now arresting 2 people praying. Oh. And police are now flanking us. And nearly just got me. And they just arrested 2 journalists right there. Police have just arrested 2 journalists and 2 people praying. They snuck up behind us. And it's a shame because they were just taking photographs of the 2 people that were praying, getting arrested with weapons drawn on them. And from what we've been told, if those cameras are taken, those memory cards will never be found. Yeah. At some point, I will need to make the decision to get out.
An estimate of how many people were up?
Because I do not have.
At least 25. And what was Ed doing?
Ed was just standing there.
Was he recording or?
I don't think he was recording at the time, but he was credentialed. He did have his media pass out and on him.
So Ed Higgins has been arrested. What did the elders look like? Were they older women, older men?
There was at least one grandmother. I think there was one older man as well. I watched them go into a teepee. One officer sliced the side of it open for no reason. There was one man asked the officers if they had live ammunition, and the police officer just responded, "What do you think?" As they're training sniper rifles on people.
So you can see the helicopter continues following around where I'm going. Like I said, the helicopter is telegraphing where the vehicles are moving. They're scouting for the movement. So right now there's at least 30 to 50 people in the area. They're circling. Those people have not moved off that location. Rob has reported he saw multiple elders arrested. Okay, they're now circling our location. Rob has reported multiple elders arrested. Ed Higgins, journalist for Activate Now. You can find his videos on his Facebook page. He's done a tremendous job out here. Independent source of news. Has been arrested. At least 25 people in the vicinity of Cheyenne River camp. Vehicles, it looks like a side-by-side's moving into the structures of the old Sacred Fire area. So police are by the area of the Sacred Fire. I do see smoke from there. I'm not sure if it's from a fire or if it's from a building. You can see more smoke erupting from that building that wasn't there a minute ago. I can report, you can see people are running at this point. I can report, if you didn't hear Rob earlier, he said police were pointing sniper rifles at people. Heard they have M4 weapons out and loaded. I've also seen less than lethal orange, but mostly they have lethal weapons. You can see Riot Police are now moving towards back camp. I'd estimate that they've taken over 50% of the camp. The right flank of camp is mostly empty. So far, they're moving through very methodically the Sacred Fire area, the area off the main area. And those are the two main structure areas. So they are moving in the area of the Sacred Fire. I've lost view of those Humvees. They may be masked in that area. Yep, I can see they are masked around the Sacred Fire area. I don't know if people have taken a stand in the Sacred Fire area, but they are stationary and not moving forward. I'm gonna put an arrow where the Sacred Fire is. Conditions are cold. It's about 31 degrees. No rain thus far.
That's tuning in and watching. I'm going to try to keep this stream going for as long as possible. I would prefer not to be arrested, but I am not in the best position right now. If they surround us, which they're trying to do, I don't think I'll have much of a choice, but I'm going to keep the stream going for as long as possible. Thank you for tuning in.
You can see people are moving towards the retreat point.
They just pushed down a structure that spray painted on the side of it said "for your children." They just pushed that down.
I do see movement on the bridge. We're gonna go over here, see if they're moving towards the entrance.
Do you know who are those people that are down there?
BIA has moved forward on the bridge. They're now on the full south side of the bridge, blocking any retreat from vehicles as we anticipated earlier. You can see snowmobiles moving. Anybody that's not moving from these areas will soon be arrested.
That's the U.S. Customs and Border Protection plane or helicopter.
That's Johnny.
I don't know. U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And feels a bit like we're sitting ducks. To where? Yeah, these vehicles are going to start advancing. We're next. The next spot is this hill.
I know. They're advancing on through Papa. There's like the next round of
You can see there are some fires. There's people up on the hill. We know we have long-range cameras.
Yeah, they extinguished the fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Around me right now, I'd say there's 9
As I said,
water protectors that are standing on top of this hill, which this I believe will be the next spot that the Humvees will advance to.
I think they are. I think this is their next spot.
Yeah, I believe this would be the next spot too. So I just want to make sure that I give myself a little bit of space for
reason for this pipeline is economics, it's money.
And I also have to be careful because that last cop came.
Run up there and then go like that, you'll be fine.
Wait, where?
Run up to where you see a dry spot.
Ah, yeah.
Like it was higher.
Photo as he was screaming in pain.
They're going to be coming this way.
They don't care. I've said in past videos, North Dakota is the Mississippi of the North. It's what I've seen. That's what we've seen over and over again. Police are now moving into the back area where the old horse corral was. The horses are out of camp as far as I know. I've yet to see one today. As late as a few days ago, there were 6 horses still in camp. They likely have moved to the Luke locations. Looks like a huge mass of police are in back camp. Potentially because that was old. So they are squeezing in right now, taking control of about 60% of camp. At least 75% of the remaining space to take control of is empty and unoccupied. They're moving beyond the sacred fire area right now. That snowmobile continues to go back and forth. They may be evacuating people that have a hard time moving. You can see that snowmobile. Humvees, burned out teepee. There's still people in these areas. Humvees are now moving to take 1806. You can see 5 vehicles. They're coming across. They may coordinate this with Rosebud. There's BIA coming across the bridge. I think they're going to take 1806. If you're up on Facebook Hill, get the hell out of there.
Would you mind just saying your name and
So,
who you are?
BIA is coming across right now. It looks like there's a vehicle in front, so they've slowed down. They're past the main gate. You can see a line. It looks like 2 are right. They still have yet to move into Rosebud. If you're in Rosebud, you should still be able to get away. People continue to stream out. You can see that individual is holding a no dample sign. You can see on the right what looks to be a tribal flag. Remember, this is stolen land, stolen twice, first by Morton County and afterwards by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers as they flooded this area out as part of the Lakewatch Dam project.
Everyone, I think I might have to start pulling back.
Sioux Reservation.
Because vehicles will surround us, and I have 0 protection here.
They're all over.
And it appears that these 2 people will be the next to get arrested. They're praying and waiting for National Guard and Morton County Sheriffs, and apparently other sheriff's departments, which I did not get the names of yet, that are all in camp. And there's more Humvees that are now approaching on the top of 1806 on the highway. And again, this is the U.S. Customs and Border Protection helicopter. So yeah, I think their next advancement, I'm gonna have to pull back. Because they've been threatening everyone, including journalists, with felony charges, which... Sorry?
The rope bridge.
Okay. All right, guys. I wish you the best of luck. All right.
You can see they're methodically moving up
Please be safe.
Facebook Hill with 3 Humvees. 3 Humvees. They have yet to approach the top. I can hear calls for medic. Unsure as to why or in what location. They seem to be coming from the right. Looks like they still have yet to move into Rosebud.
Right.
They're closing off the road.
Guys,
Not sure.
good luck, everyone. I'm gonna start backing out.
See,
Okay.
that's Bureau of Indian Affairs. We also have park rangers out here. Are they there? Oh shit. They're not in the back of camp. You can see they're now moving towards the... Thanks, I couldn't see them over there. You can see they were behind the structures over there. They're now back.
Gear that stated so. National Guard.
Hey,
Have officially raided Oceti and have arrested military veterans.
you can see the Riot line is advancing on the river. About half of it, 40% inwards, is mud.
A military veteran.
They're now swooping around,
And now they are arresting
squeezing off people.
2 more people.
How many people are in the Facebook Hill areas?
2 people that were praying. They're now arresting. Shouting, "Don't reach for anything, don't reach for anything, put your hands up." And as you saw, he was on his knees before praying.
I think he's right there. He's the one walking in.
And I'm gonna have to really start making moves here because there's not many
Okay,
people
I'm
left in
going.
camp. In fact, I think there's left on that hill. And myself. And there's way more of them. So I'm gonna pull back.
You can see Humvee is
I
currently
think the
60
plan is to
yards
go
in front of me north.
The
Around the
Cannonball
edge of the
River and just
Cannonball
cross the
River.
river into Sacred Stone Camp.
You can see back here, we're on the edge.
So for those of you just tuning in, this all began this morning when 2 Army Corps of Engineers personnel came to camp and had asked people at camp if they would allow Army Corps cleanup crew to come into camp accompanied by police, and that there would be no arrests. They were told that there would be no arrests. People in camp denied that request, and then a number of people in camp, including our military veterans
Police are now pointing their weapons at
and
people,
elders,
forcing them back onto the river.
saw that there were vehicles approaching on the 1806 highway and decided to make a line where they joined arms and began praying and singing. Army Corps did not come in first. It was police and National Guard with weapons drawn containing live ammunition, and they just began arresting people. When I asked what the charges were, no one responded to me. And when I asked an officer, "Sir, do you have lethal rounds?" he said, "What do you think?" And then they started advancing and raiding the camp and going through all the structures with weapons drawn, again containing live ammunition, arresting anyone they encountered. People are trying to leave and gather their final belongings. This appears to be the end of Oceti. And as you can see, the conditions here are pretty difficult. Although this is much better than yesterday. At least it's a bit frozen now. Again, I apologize. I really wish that I had some sort of protection here to film and make sure that I could cover all of this, but they made it very clear yesterday that anyone that is still here is not protected and could be put up on felony charges. They don't want press to see this. So thanks for tuning in, and again, I'm trying my best to continue to live stream this without getting arrested, because they will show no mercy from what we've seen. They arrested 2 journalist friends of mine about 15 minutes ago. They snuck up behind us and nearly grabbed me as well. And as you can see, a lot of camp actually has been cleared out. The whole reason that the Army Corps wanted to get in here was because this is a floodplain, and they were worried that with the rising temperatures that this whole area would be flooded. So the governor of North Dakota and the Army Corps had stressed that they were worried about everyone's safety here, and they were worried about anything, any garbage that was left behind, any sort of garbage that could be swept away when the waters would rise, as this is a floodplain. So they gave people at camp the deadline of the 22nd, which was yesterday, to clean up what was essentially an entire community, a village, a town with schools and a hospital, a medical center. And they expected all of that to be gone by yesterday, which people at camp said that was impossible, especially with the conditions here. They requested an extension of that date. That extension was denied. And that is why you still see there is some structures remaining. There's still some garbage piles remaining. And we saw yesterday people, even after many were arrested, went right back to picking up garbage. But yeah, right now there are military and police from there all the way surrounding there to there to there, and ends to what I could see right there. So they've got a pretty good spread. Oh, no, they are also over there. They are definitely closing in. So I'd say 3/4 of the camp are now surrounded. More Humvees are moving south. Yeah, they're trying to circle the whole camp. So I'm gonna start making my way across the river. And you could see that there's members from Sacred Stone Camp, which essentially they believe is protected from the raid on the ice and also on the hill. That's Eagle's Nest, another camp, and everybody seems to be watching as militarized police and the military, National Guard, are entering the camp. Everyone seems to be screaming Mini Wachoni, which means water is life. I hope you guys can still see this feed. I hope we're still live. I hope you can hear me with this microphone that's not working properly. Thank you for watching. Yeah, and there are more police and military.
As citizens, please cuff yourselves and respect our wishes. It's your time to go to jail. You are killing our people. You are killing
Communities
our
in the
planet.
U.S.-Mexico
You
relationship.
are killing this river. You are in violation of the 1851 and 1868 treaties, as well as the Dawes Act of 1934. Please remove yourselves from this premises. No! Woo! We are here in a prayerful and respectable manner. Please leave our homes alone. Do not destroy our homes. We live here. You are performing an illegal search and seizure. Listen to our people sing. We are praying for you.
For those of you that were watching earlier, when police and military first came in
Used to have a tent there.
and started advancing, a banner was taken down. That banner has
You're
now been
good?
moved and is being moved across the river.
Please
more
remove
trees back
yourself
there.
from Oceti Oyate. You are in violation of the 1851
You can see I say about 10 riot police are on the banks of the river. That's a part of the river that usually does have water. You can see the youth are out in force. The 7th generation.
Stay in prayer. We are
Share this
here
video.
for a reason. Relatives, stay in prayer. They are afraid of prayer. God is watching them.
I'll be here.
The nation is watching them. The world is watching them.
Looks like
The devil is waiting for their return to hell.
had to run through some water, probably. It's a little wet.
Leave and take and go home.
4, 8, 12. I think 14.
No, I mean just right here, this one.
Oh, just now?
Yeah. It's just like 2 or 3.
No, I'm gonna move on up to the front line here.
Earlier, they had sniper rifles pointed at M4s. Journalist Ed Higgins has been arrested. Elders have been arrested in that first part of camp that they sweeped out. He estimates at least 25 in that area. He said at least one grandmother and one older elder male, it looked like.
Military is now on the outer edges of Oceti.
So far, they seem very hesitant to
Right
move
along the
into the
Cannonball
center
River.
area of structures. There's still some people in those. I'd estimate
To the left, we
between
have-
20 and 40 people in the center structures. There's somebody on the roof of that vehicle. I mean, the roof of the old building. You can still see right there. This is land covered by the 1851 and 1868 Fort Laramie treaties, of which, as I've said in the past,
And brought it over
the
here.
only woman signee was buried on Turtle Island, which they currently still occupy behind this line of Riot Police, about a half-mile north. Humvee seems to be moving on the road. It looks like there's a red SUV that has been abandoned or is a police vehicle. Group of about 8 officers are now moving. We'll see if they're going to move around the left towards the crowd. You can see a group of perhaps 100, 120 people have gathered on the river. If you're watching this, share the video out. My other feed died. We're at the Oceti Oyate Camp. There's people set up on the hill. If you want to do a search, somebody has a long-range camera. His name is Hunter Nolan, N-O-L-A-N. He has a long-range camera set up on the camp. Search that on Facebook, will show up. Those videos should be public. So far, we're still raiding on Rob Wilson. I think he's in those structure areas right now. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in. They're moving into this structure. You can see they're sweeping these structures like they would overseas. They're sweeping these structures like they would in Afghanistan or Iraq. You can see they're in that structure right now. Yeah.
Still good.
A little late, but
Can you hear when I speak?
oh, you can see there's people all over the river. There's people up on the hill.
extended it much further west, so people still do have a line of entrance and exit across the frozen Cannonball River. And so just a reminder, if anyone wants to see a recap of the events from yesterday, both like videos, pictures, and just first-hand accounts, you can go to our website, unicornriot.ninja. We had a live post going yesterday that we updated throughout the day. And also, we're a nonprofit, non-hierarchical, decentralized, independent media collective. We're entirely funded by support by our readers and watchers. So if you want to help us continue to bring you more direct coverage like this from the front lines of social struggles across North America, just go to our website, unicornriot.ninja, click on the tab that says support our work. And also, usually when we're live, you can go to the live channel tab on our page, and there should be live streams embedded there. Also, if you go to our post from yesterday and scroll to the bottom, there's going to be a bunch of links to basically every single article we've ever written on the struggles around the Dakota Access Pipeline, starting April of last year when Sacred Stone Camp was first founded. So you can go through and see basically the whole timeline. There's going to be some events missing there for the last 2 months when we haven't had reporters on the ground here. We sort of spread out and covered other things as well. And also some of us just had to take a break after reporting here really hard for about 3-4 months straight last year. But we're back here on the ground to show you this eviction.
And military are trying to make their presence very well known.
Could be evicted tomorrow, but
all along Oceti to the outskirts, right along the Cannonball River. Can you tell? Is this just Morton County?
Tribe, not necessarily all of the people of Standing Rock at all.
The dark blue, that's what the BIA is wearing at all the roadblocks.
Dark blue is BIA.
I think Morton County is in brown.
Okay, yeah, Morton County and brown, BIA most likely.
And what about green?
Green, state troopers most likely.
So state troopers, Morton County, Bureau of Indian Affairs,
Park Rangers,
National Guard, and Custom and Border Protection is the helicopter. You saw the ATF? Where was that? At the casino? And it appears there was an incident at the casino last night too. Someone got tased. An indigenous man got tased last night at the casino.
They were harassing a bunch of people.
They were harassing people in the casino last night?
It's a weird place to be in a casino with a bunch of radical anarchists and
Yeah.
As we left, the security at the hotel said that the BIA was going to be searching people's rooms while this was happening right now. That's true. So we did our best to get that out to everybody.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So before we left, private security at the hotel was saying that while this was going down here at Oceti, that the BIA was going to be searching for people's rooms at the casino.
They're definitely looking for any reason to raid shotgun and
Yeah, he likes dogs! Yeah!
One of us!
It'd be funny if the dog took a shit.
The dog's like, these dudes are soft.
That's his territory now, you gotta leave.
So you can tell who has less than lethal rounds by the orange on his weapon, and then the officer next to him has the fully black weapon, which means live ammunition. So right over here, this is Sacred Stone Camp that has come out to show their support for Oceti. On the top, you have Eagle's Nest. Thank you. Thanks.
What's up, revolutionaries? Just jump.
Mud is like glue. Sucks you in, you get stuck. So I don't want to get too far out there.
We're having a little connection difficulty there, but of course, out there in Standing Rock, we have BuzzFeed News broadcasting, as well as Unicorn Riot currently. Johnny Dangerous was giving us a feed earlier from what's going on at the Oceti Camp. Today is eviction day, and it looks like they are proceeding. Let's go back to what these guys are giving us.
I'm sorry, what's that?
I was just wondering if they have guns, is there any way to tell if they're rubber bullets is real?
Yeah, they have live ammunition.
Yeah.
Not in the orange gun. That's less than lethal. Less than lethal.
Yeah, we like to call that less.
It's still lethal if it hits you in the head.
30 feet and it kills someone.
Tear gas canisters.
Yeah. Yeah.
have actual bullets, like out?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah,
No. Okay. So you see his shotgun has the orange. That's not. That's less than lethal. See his rifle? That's lethal. I mean, you're not gonna fucking know once they're making and firing, but.
Ah, shit, man, someone just fell into the river. This ice is not safe and everyone is standing on it. There's now a dance circle happening on the other side of the river.
Okay, so that red van that's moving up 1806 is, we've only ever seen those red vans get moved to transport arrestees. So it's not clear. We haven't seen anyone get loaded into those yet. It's possible it happened and it escaped our gaze. But so yeah, we're sort of waiting to see if they'll drive those red vans down into the camp and put people arrested into them or not. Oh, there's also, can you get, there's another one driving north. You see that? Another red van on the move.
We haven't forgotten these obligations. Remember,
and so if we ever see any of those red vans just totally leave the scene driving north, they're probably transporting people to the Morton County Jail. And it's possible people will be shipped out from the Morton County Jail and surrounding counties. They've shipped people out to different county jails across North Dakota at times when there's mass arrest and Morton County is over capacity. But they've also done it when they've arrested smaller groups of like 8 to 12 people, still ship them to Mercer County, or places as Fargo, which is like, I think, 4 or 6 hours away.
You're still our brothers and sisters. There's only one creator. He created all of us. So you're our brothers and sisters, and we love you.
Will support infrastructure. He thinks that everyone's basically doing it to like drain the system here. And so it seems like certain choices of where to put people in jail, how long to hold them, where to send them, how much the bond is set for, seems to be intentional acts designed to drain the support infrastructure resources that's present for the water protectors or other people here, which would be in line with the Trump administration's like general attack on infrastructure for protests and social justice movements. That noise you can hear is the yellow DAPL helicopter flying overhead. It's owned by DAPL, but there's probably law enforcement inside taking pictures. And I haven't seen yesterday when the eviction was supposed to take place, like this eviction taking place here now. Everyone thought it was going to take place yesterday at 2 p.m. because that's what the authorities were saying. There was, I would say, at least a dozen mainstream corporate news satellite TV trucks lined up on the highway. And then eventually they were penned in down by the police barricade where they couldn't really see anything. There was maybe one ABC News crew that came up with the force of mostly Wisconsin state troopers that made arrests yesterday. But, so there was a heavy showing yesterday morning and afternoon. Well, they tapered off to the afternoon, but there was a lot of corporate news satellite vans here yesterday. And today, when the actual eviction's taking place, I don't see a single news van here. As far as I know, it's just, not just us, but there's lots of independent journalists or live streamers here documenting, and I think there's freelancers and people who sell their content to larger outlets, but there's no, I've seen no showing of like local mainstream North Dakota media here today. And I would say there's never been a real media blackout here, like there's always been information and updates coming out, but in terms of coverage by large so-called legitimate media outlets, it's been paltry. And yeah, like I just said, I don't see a single news van here. They were all here yesterday, basically repeating what the police said. There's the helicopter overhead. There's also a biplane circling around. And we haven't really seen any movement from the police. There's still 4 Humvees parked on Facebook Hill. We see a SWAT team there. They just seem to sort of be standing there holding their guns. And then law enforcement is still standing closer to our position, just on the north side of the Cannonball River, which is frozen, and people are standing on the frozen river. Some people are like just on the edge of the land, out of the river. Or maybe they're still standing on the river and there's snow and it just looks like land. It's not really clear. You can definitely just walk back and forth across the river, no problem. There's even tracks, tire tracks from cars that have been driving over the last few days. It was getting warmer here recently. Some people had concerns the river would melt and it would be less safe to cross, but it's been pretty cold here for the last 48 hours. So the ice is probably hardened and thickened again. And so, yeah, there's still a big wooden structure with like high-deck insulation and stuff on it. And there's a person sitting at the apex of where, you know, it's like a pointy house, and he's sitting on the point where the two parts of the roof meet, and he's up there, and I don't see... Okay, they might actually be bringing a cherry picker in to try to get them down. Can you zoom in on the person that's on that house? I think they're bringing in a cherry picker. So yeah, there's some equipment. It looks like it's getting brought down the North Gate Road. They seem to have taken out the barricade that was set up on the North Gate yesterday. I don't actually know if that's a cherry picker or some sort of climbing device, but it might be. They're going to have to bring in something if they're going to get that person off of the apex of the roof of that structure.
Stormed into Oceti Camp and arrested military veterans and water protectors. Approximately 10 to 12.
We do have some trash bags here for dispersal. If you would be interested in helping our efforts, clean the rest of camp. Thank you.
Definitely is one of
You guys are gonna miss us when we're gone, you know that. You're gonna miss us. Gonna be right back to Poto, North Dakota problem. It's gonna be real boring. Well, actually, now since fracking, they got human trafficking and a whole bunch of other shit to worry about. You can't play with your toys anymore. You know, there's been tons of problems up there since they started fracking. Those are like, yeah, those are boom towns. Yeah. I'm sure they got all sorts of meth busts and people who pet taxis and all sorts of shit now. Well, at least they got jobs. At least they got jobs. I want to see him going through like the little neighborhood, like clearing villages and stuff. Okay, red team, go in. And then Ferguson, all structures. Yeah, but it's like all the blood. Can we still go and get our stuff with this guy? I would. Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably 10 to 12 Humvees.
They're keeping us at bay here, and they are going to camp in their little color designated areas. I'm sure they've been practicing this for months. I'm semi-proud. Now I've seen them come like these blue, really like clumsy actors into this, and this is something right out of Call of Duty. You know, the video game. They're getting better. Of course, it's muddy though, and they got old knees.
Are you a veteran?
I am.
And which branch?
Navy. It's a silly place.
And may I ask why, as a veteran of the Navy, are you here?
Oh, well, our military, along with our police, pretty much any socialized venture infrastructure has been subverted for the use of private classes people, and specifically the fact that there are two realities in America. There are those who build to produce, and then those who reap the benefits. Right now, this is exactly what's happening. They're using our municipal ventures, our social safety nets, police, military, and all that, just to suppress people who produce and also require these resources from the ground, require these resources from Earth. They're all being subverted for this damn usurpacious 1% class. So that's what I see going on with my country. I saw it first in the military, and then I see this industrial complex just becoming something that just really can't afford to allow it to exist at the degree that it already exists. That's one reason I'm here.
And how many veterans would you say are still here?
I hated count. Put that away. But there's quite a few.
And what are your thoughts on seeing members? Well, actually, it wasn't the National Guard. It appeared Morton County Sheriff. They just arrested a number of veterans. What are your thoughts on police arresting military veterans?
I think it's great, honestly. These healthy, virile men and women are coming out here for themselves in an arrestable situation, sacrifice their personal comfort for, if nothing else, a message.
So you can see right
and
now,
I think that message is going to kind of help sow our horrific wings apart. I'm talking in terms of like social left and right wing. That might be one of the topics that helps bridge that right wing back to this. And maybe they'll all realize that this is for one topic. This is for water. This is for life. This is for dignity. This is for human passion. So vets getting arrested, hey, they came out there to do that. And I applaud my brothers and sisters for standing.
Thank
I hope that message is heard. That's basically it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And do you mind if I ask your name and where you're from?
the majority of the water protectors are still standing on Shine.
Thank you, Tyson.
The frozen river here. Close to the police here. Looks like they're attempting to communicate with them, perhaps. So there must be, 15, definitely over a dozen Humvees out here that look like they belong to the U.S. Army National Guard or the North Dakota National Guard. And there's Wisconsin police out here, and there's Morton County police, and there's Highway Patrol, there's Homeland Security and Customs flying a helicopter, and maybe on the ground. And then there's Bureau of Indian Affairs, BIA, Federal Police, and then there's the U.S. Army Corps. And so I could have missed a few of them out there, but there's quite a few different organizations from law enforcement out here today taking part in this eviction. So it's a very heavily coordinated, multi-governmental organization kind of thing here. So there's the Homeland Security helicopter. And back there on the ridge you can see some kind of communications towers and some kind of relays or something. Watch out. You can see over here the one of the Bearcats is back on Highway 1806 and looks like it's just chilling. So that's good. Those usually have the LRAD and the snipers on top of them and the tactical units. Those are pretty violent. And so right back down here, saw the water protectors standing on the river. And you have police, perhaps Wisconsin police. It's hard to tell from here. There's a less lethal shotgun, looks like. And there's your Hummer. We assume that the U.S. Army National Guard is driving the Hummers in a supportive role, because that's what had been going on in the past previously. You can see the SWAT team tactical units here amongst the just the Riot Police. And then they're more heavily armed, obviously. Got a bunch of cops still chilling around here. Looks like they're waiting for orders or something to continue clearing. You can see also in the center of the screen there's a red X. That's what they've been spray painting on all the tents. It's kind of like some Katrina situation going on here, basically, where they're going from structure to structure and clearing them and then marking them with a red X. Yeah, I got it. You want to take this over? My hand's freezing. Oh, shit.
Again, police are holding weapons with live rounds in them. You can tell right there. It's all black weapon. There is no orange or yellow on it to signify that there are less than lethal rounds. The officer directly in front of me there, he is carrying a shotgun that does contain less than lethal rounds, which, if fired at a distance where we are right now, up to 30 feet can still kill you. At any moment they'll be given the order to charge, and they will start arresting people here in this spot. I'm frozen onto it, so it's fine. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that, though.
Or anything would have been cleared out of the area. The MRAP is parked just to the left over there. Yeah, just by where the helicopter just flew over. And now, yeah, there seems to be a standoff brewing just a few yards north of the Cannonball River. Some people are still standing on the frozen Cannonball River. There's also people here on the south side, closer to the hill that we're observing from. There's also some people, as you can see, still on the land that is claimed to be Army Corps property. We try not just to refer to it as Army Corps land, because according to the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie, this is unceded treaty territory of the Great Sioux Nation.
This appears to be the last stand of Oceti right here.
Engineers and this is an illegal occupation of U.S. government land. But also the representative of the Army Corps of Engineers, who called this an illegal occupation when asked about the treaty, said that he hadn't read them and
to charge.
And
So I just want to be ready to bolt when that happens.
Have said, like,
you can see their variety of weapons right there. I cannot confirm exactly what they are, but I would believe it is tear gas and potentially concussion grenades. And then also what appears to be assault rifles with live ammunition in it.
The U.S. Army and the United States federal government deliberately flooded this land as part of a dam project. So the whole reason that this is a floodplain and that indigenous people are being told they can't occupy their treaty territories is because the United States government intentionally flooded this land in the 50s, which destroyed the livelihood of a large majority of the people of Standing Rock. And I believe there's other dams that have done similar things in this area, and also to other tribal peoples across the so-called United States. So if the Army Corps of Engineers hadn't flooded this land against the wishes of the people of Standing Rock in the 50s, this wouldn't be a floodplain. It's a man-made
I'm told there's a confrontation by the TPs back in Oceti, but I cannot get back in there.
Camera pods.
This will be the last spot before making my way across the river to Sacred Stone Camp.
And so, yeah, law enforcement seems to be holding that line. Water protectors and maybe some veterans have formed a line to face them. And there's sort of that path that comes up out of the Cannonball River. And they seem to be on either sides of that path. And law enforcement doesn't really seem to be moving. They do seem to have control of most of the territory of the camp now. There may still be people in structures. It looks like they're still sweeping some structures as well. We imagine they plan on having this eviction, or at least the territorial sweep of the area, complete by sundown. We don't know if they will. Oh, yeah, there's Humvees moving now. Next one, they're back to the south. Yeah, there's 4 Humvees fanning out with, I think, the West Dakota SWAT team or someone in nearly identical uniforms marching south down Facebook Hill. They're now walking towards that sort of blue tarp structure. They're probably going to go clear that structure and stick their automatic weapons through the entrance in a second. And then, yeah, the Homeland Security helicopters flying over that area as well, probably providing, real-time visual surveillance updates to their colleagues on the ground. So, yeah, we can see the SWAT officers. We can't see the door they're going in because it's on the east side and we're on the west side. But they're going in right now, probably clearing that structure. If anyone's in there, they'll probably be arrested, probably thrown to the ground. We've seen people pulled out of these structures very violently before when they did a raid like this on October 27th at the North Treaty Camp that was established. Okay, there's a vehicle being towed up on Highway 1806. Can you get that tow that's happening? Okay, wow, that helicopter's really extremely low. It's like about as low as you can see it's kicking up dust from the ground. So there was a water truck that's in camp that's being towed away now up 1806. Yeah, you should be able to see in a second. Yeah, there's a tow truck that's towing out a water truck. But I don't know if it was it might have been parked on top of Facebook Hill or it's parked on 1806. They definitely tow vehicles when they can out here. They impounded a large number of cars when they raided the North Camp on October 27th. They also impounded a number of vehicles of journalists that were there covering Adam Schrader, who I think was reporting for the New York Daily News on October 27th, in addition to being falsely charged with arson for his presence there as a reporter that day. He also says that certain reporting equipment, including an audio recorder and a notebook with notes in it, were stolen out of his car or went missing. And then Morton County officials claimed that those items were never in there in the first place. But he said, no, this was journalistic material that was in my vehicle. Law enforcement impounded my vehicle, and when I recovered it, there were signs of a break-in. There was a protest in downtown Bismarck that we covered, downtown Mandan, where the highway goes into Bismarck. We covered a protest there on Thanksgiving Day, and as people were leaving, people dispersed after law enforcement gave a dispersal order, and cars that were legally parked that law enforcement decided were associated with water protectors were just being towed left and right. There would be officers with automatic rifles with live ammunition, like guarding the tow company as they were towing away legally parked cars. Like they're just like taking people's cars because they didn't like them protesting in town. But we think that car that was towed was in the camp. So just a little background on the situation here. So yeah, at least one of those, at least two of those Humvees are now advancing further south, almost to the Cannonball Bridge, really, within a few hundred yards of the Cannonball Bridge. Looks like they're going to be clearing. There's like some campers parked over there, maybe some abandoned vehicles. That's where they're not there yet, but I imagine soon they'll be rolling up on the security shack at the south gate. The security shack on the north gate was set on fire yesterday ahead of the scheduled eviction time, which didn't really happen. The Southgate security shack is still there. And I don't think it's camp security. I think it's law enforcement that's standing around the south security gate, but we can't tell from where we're at. I think I see a badge on one of those people, but I really can't tell you for sure.
Evan got arrested?
Yeah, Ed Higgins.
So yeah, you can see there's members of the West Dakota SWAT team.
Did you hear anything about a confrontation at a
TP? The West Dakota SWAT team might be a different SWAT unit.
I was watching a lot of the BuzzFeed, or not BuzzFeed, I was watching a lot of the Unicorn Riot feed.
Okay.
And,
that helicopter's flying pretty low, directly over the frozen Cannonball River.
About that.
Are they still streaming? Is Unicorn Riot still on?
I'm still streaming too. Sorry, crew. Doing an interview.
Oh.
Here, you choose. Let me stick that in your pocket, bro. There. Alright, you're good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're up on the hill there. That's them with they got one guy doing commentary with a mic and another guy. They got the best footage. I saw as many 22,000 views there. BuzzFeed, you must be bringing in some big numbers too. So
I can't see it on this program though.
Yeah. But they had great, they caught it all.
Website unicornriot.ninja. Tacoma tablets that support our work. We're almost entirely funded by one-time recurring online donations by our supporters. Also, if you go to our website, unicornriot.ninja, you can see our live post from yesterday that gives you a pretty good timeline of people waiting for the eviction that was supposed to happen at 2 p.m. Nothing really happening at 2 p.m. A lot of structures in camp going up in flames. People would rather burn sacred structures than have them taken or desecrated by North Dakota forces. And then eventually around 4 p.m., a team that was mostly led by Wisconsin state troopers came in and made some arrests. They pretty badly injured one live streamer, Eric Pomez, who was live streaming just on the side of the road at the time of his arrest. He was pounced on pretty badly by 5 or 6 officers from the Bismarck and Fargo police departments, and he said they broke his hip. We've been trying to find information about his case. We haven't been able to locate any yet. I would imagine he's in the hospital. He seemed like he needed medical treatment. They were trying to make him walk. We have video of them trying to make him walk while he's clearly limping, and they sort of throw him to the ground again and try to make him walk again. So basically they either broke a man's hip or severely injured his hip and then tried to force him to walk after they inflicted that injury on him. And while he was face down on the ground, another sheriff or police officer comes up and takes a picture of his face and then laughs about it while he's walking away. Thankfully, we haven't really seen any actions like that we know of today. It's possible they took place out of sight. They've definitely been trying to intimidate media so that they can, operate a little more freely without as much accountability. There were reporters who were present
seems to have been arrested.
What?
There's someone that's been arrested.
You talk. I can't see it.
Okay, so what you can see on your screen right now is two people who it looks like they are being arrested, possibly detained, but they're definitely handcuffed. Looks like the police have two of these individuals under arrest.
So yeah, it looks like we got two officers in tactical gear by that Humvee sitting in front of that bus. There's two people sitting on the ground. We don't know if they pulled them out of that bus or found them in the area, but there's two arrestees, so we're going to try and keep our eyes on them, see how they're transported out. I do see one of the red arrest vans. It's still on 1806, parked sort of between the North Gate and Facebook Hill. And there was another red van. We lost eyes on it, but basically the red vans are how they transport arrestees. We've only seen two of those here, so maybe they're not expecting to make many arrests. There's another arrest happening. Looks like they're handcuffing that person right now. Maybe searching their pockets, patting them down. And yeah, those officers are in SWAT uniforms. They're not in like the regular darker uniforms that the rest of the personnel out here are in. They're like the specialized, more heavily armed teams that are moving and sleeping structures with the Humvees. And our understanding, based on more closer observation of law enforcement actions out here before, is that we think the Humvees belong to the North Dakota National Guard. They seem to be like left over from Iraq or Afghanistan or something, like repurposed military equipment. And they're driven by the National Guard in military fatigues, but then it's usually police in riot helmets who are riding along, pointing guns out the top turret and stuff like that. And we first saw the Humvees, I want to say October 25th or 26th, when people established the North Treaty Camp on the Cannonball Ranch property that it, like, was farmland in the area, and it's also unceded. Oh, wait, who's advancing?
Humvee with the platoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's another Humvee advancing through camp, sort of to the right of where we're showing you right now. We'll zoom in if it seems like anything's happening. They might just be linking up with another Humvee. But so these Humvees weren't really seen in September. It would be until a day or two before the eviction of the North Treaty Camp on October 27th. Sheriff Kirkmeyer and Sheriff Laney and the National Guard invited some mainstream news reporters into their compound when they took over the Fort Rice recreational area to set up their little army base, basically, before they invaded and established a militarized perimeter to protect the pipeline here. So they invited reporters in and said, oh,
What's up, Revolutionaries? DC here. Thanks for tuning in. We're watching live streams from the Oceti Camp at Standing Rock by BuzzFeed News and Unicorn Riot.
I was told by someone else, what do you think? I don't know. I'm asking you, as press, do you have lethal rounds in these weapons?
Great question.
Do you have lethal rounds in these weapons?
We're filming you too, guys, you know.
And they're committing human and civil rights violations in order to enforce unlawful orders. That is what is happening. Let us tell you what's happening. What story do they have?
Do you have lethal ammunition in those weapons? No one has answered that question.
No, you gotta know what I covered.
No one has answered the question.
We have a right to clean water. These officers are
Riot Police have moved in. Those are the police without the weapons. Those are the ones that will be doing the charging. They just moved in right over there. And they are spreading out to start doing a charge. They are widening their stance and formation. And this is the last stand here at Oceti, happening now. As you can see, police are now pushing literally everyone out. This is
It looks like police are attempting to kettle this group.
This is the mark right here. The last stand of Oceti is right here. Humvees are moving in. Everyone on this side is now completely surrounded from there all the way to there. And the only way across is through this frozen river. Is the river, where can we cross when that time comes?
I mean, it looks like right here would be good. I don't know. Law enforcement's basically putting the water protectors in a situation where they have to scramble across a half-melted river.
They're starting to come. They're starting to come. But that has a very good point, is that both militarized police and military are putting people in a position to cross a river that is very dangerous.
See, I'm on the middle of the river right now. We don't know if they're going to snatch and grab. You can see a stunning scene of about 200 to 300 cops on the banks of the Cannonball River. This is indeed the Mississippi of the North. National Guard, police, riot shields, 20 armored vehicles, helicopter cover have now taken full control of the Oceti Oyate Liberation Camp.
3 people on this side, this face in the snow. Both of them faces are in the snow and ice. Again, no officer
They
was
rushed
able
the
to answer
crowd
my
just
question.
like yesterday once again.
If
They've rushed the crowd. I don't know how many people they
lethal
arrested,
rounds
if
in
people
their
were
guns,
able to
which
get.
we do know the answer to that. It is yes, because it is not marked as less lethal on their weapon. So this right here is the final stand of those at Oceti.
Share the video out. Upwards of 20
Standing
armored
Rock.
vehicles have now cleared the remains of the
been pushed
Oceti
back now
Oyate
to a
Camp,
river
now in full
that
control of the North Dakota National Guard, Bismarck Police, Morton
frozen,
County, under
is
escort of
not
surveillance
completely
planes,
solid.
drones,
We saw some people
helicopters giving presents.
in.
There's still elders
But,
up on Facebook Hill that have
this is
likely
the
not been
position that
arrested.
we've been put in.
And there is likely, as I've said, 2 people
and
on
even
top
as a member of the
of
press,
the building with the red roof. I'm going to zoom in and show you the police line. They backed off the edges of the river, but they're standing on the banks of the Cannonball. Upwards of 200 police rushed the crowd. Hey, would you like to say anything on live stream? Okay. It's Johnny, by the way.
Oh, Johnny! Hey, come on, give me a hug. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Still here, haven't
I want
left.
to say hi to you. Nice street, eh, Johnny?
The mud is so thick. So if anyone did charge, they
saw
would probably
somebody
fall.
who's been here since
Get stuck.
August, been on the ground, called the Oceti Oyate Camp home, and now unfortunately he's seeing the camp in full control of the government. So the government has taken full control over the camp with U.S. North Dakota National Guard. Armored vehicles line the banks of the Cannonball River on stolen treaty land. Hey.
You good?
Pretty good.
Stay clear, okay? Thank you.
You can see up on the hill there's a Veterans for Peace flag. I'm gonna zoom in for you. You can see up there. I don't know how many people they grabbed when they ran at people in that final stretch. Taking control of the final 5 and 10% of camp.
So at this point, I don't.
How many
I
people
don't
do you think they
believe
grabbed?
Police will make any further advances.
Because they made a good run for it. I could tell, I said on my stream, I said they're going to come in the next 5 minutes. Because they got the vehicles along them. Well, we could tell. You could see 200 police lining the banks of the Cannonball River. As you could tell, there is no flooding that will be imminent. More propaganda from the government. Issued an eviction under threat of a flood. We don't even have water in the river right now. You can see there's people all in the river right now. Maybe 1 foot under. We're here outside Cannonball, North Dakota at the Oceti Oyate Liberation Camp, as Chase Iron Eyes would say. People took a stand today and the entirety of their time for treaty rights, for sovereign rights of indigenous peoples, protect the water, protect the land, protect the air, for the children, for the next 7 generations. All we have is prayer and peaceful, prayerful, inspired direct action. And they came with guns and armored vehicles and weapons and National Guard and arrested and terrorized our peaceful and prayerful water protectors.
Selfie status.
I'm gonna take one of you. Whoa, I almost fell in the river. So it's Rob Wilson. You can see the crowd is still probably about 150 now, down from about 200. Everybody's on the river. They've arrested some people when they ran at the crowd to take the remaining 5% of the camp. Camp is now 100% in police, National Guard, and government control. We anticipate they've at least lit the one fire, as there were no water protectors in that area whatsoever. You can see they both have very lethal and some non-lethal weapons. Side-by-sides, armored vehicles, upwards of 20 armored vehicles. They've towed vehicles from the road. BIA has, looks like 6 vehicles on the Cannonball Bridge. BIA working with, coordinating with National Guard, police, and Morton County Sheriff's. I'm now going to move towards the secondary crossing into Rosebud. You can see the
Do you think that
helicopter is now hovering directly over the river?
Around 200 men, a
For what purpose? I have no idea.
Around 200 men, a
People came here to protect the water, to protect the Cannonball River, and unironically they have chased people onto the Cannonball River.
A few more hours just covering this,
onto
so
the water.
stay tuned and thank you very much.
Okay, hey everyone, sorry we had to take the stream down for a second and bring it back up. So we do stream directly to live stream. You can see us always when we're streaming at... Hold on. That Homeland Security helicopter is circling really low over us, so if my voice gets... if you can't hear what I'm saying, that's why. What?
He went like this and like tipped his wings. They were down there earlier.
So yeah, Border Patrol is just flying their helicopter really low over us, but they're sort of like away for a second, so hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. But yeah, so we wanted to apologize for the interruption in the stream there. You can always see our content right at livestream.com/unicornriot or in the live channel page on our website, unicornriot.ninja. But our live streams do also go directly to Facebook. I know probably most of you are watching live on Facebook right now. Facebook has a 4-hour live stream. Oh, well, that dog just ran away with some trash. Anyway, so yeah, Facebook cuts off our live stream after 4 hours, so we just had to bring it down and bring it back up to make sure that everyone who's only watching on Facebook
for them
still gets to see what's
navigate.
up. So yeah, right now it just seems like law enforcement and the National Guard is basically holding their line just north of the Cannonball River at the south end of camp. And okay, we got to go down. We're going to come back up soon for you in a second. Sorry, technical problems.
What's up, revolutionaries? Well, yeah, that's kind of strange. They all went down all at the same time. I wonder if it's related. DC here on Revolution.tv. Please subscribe, get notifications for when we do go live with such actions. Waiting for BuzzFeed News and Unicorn Riot to come back up, as well as Johnny K. Dangerous has been up there since August and live streaming, and he's been covering this as well. Apparently the mainstream media was there yesterday, and the authorities waited for them to leave.
Do you guys believe that this is going to be as far as they go, or do you think they can move in?
You can see some bulldozers coming in.
Picking up Honor the Earth's live stream now from the Oceti Camp.
You saw your taxpayer money at work, America. Welcome. This is not Iraq. This is not the Middle East. It's not Syria. This is the United States of America using their own military to remove peaceful protesters from their own land. says this dog. What he thinks about this? What do you think about this, doggy? He has no comment. He thinks it's bullshit.
The Missouri River. There's so this frozen river essentially serves as a border between Army Corps land, which is, well, actually it's unceded treaty territory of the Great Sioux Nation, which includes the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, the Oglala Lakota Tribe, and the Yankton Sioux Nation. And I think there's one other tribe I'm forgetting, I'm sorry, and maybe some of those details are wrong. But this is unceded territory of the Great Sioux Nation, according to the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie, which was signed by the United States government and is supposed to be the prevailing law of the land and really international law. But the United States federal government does not recognize that. North Dakota's government does not recognize that. Officials from the Army Corps of Engineers, when asked about that treaty, just said, I haven't read it, I don't know about that, and this camp's illegal and you gotta go. So those treaties which were signed don't really seem to matter at this point. Right now we see like basically an armed force, a military force. It's made up of mostly police, but it's essentially a military force, people dressed for war, who have just cleared out this camp. I don't think they've cleared it out entirely. We do see some people still sort of moving freely in some areas of the camp, but they've established control and perimeters for most of the camp. And so there's a line of like at least 12 military, like Army-style Humvees and construction equipment and officers in riot gear and a few different SWAT teams here on the south side of camp, the north side of the Cannonball River. That sound is Homeland Security's helicopter flying really, really low above us, so low we can see their uniforms and faces. We can read the logo very clearly. It's the Homeland Security's logo. It says U.S. Customs and Border Protection on the side. And so yeah, the Border Patrol Union, a lot of people have been hearing about Customs and Border Patrol in the news recently from the Muslim ban, and for a few days they were basically refusing to acknowledge the federal judge's order against the travel ban.
Okay, that was a bird.
Wait. Oh, okay. So yeah, so there's a line for people to cross the frozen river, and it looks like the police are destroying it. They're bringing in construction equipment to take out whatever was anchoring it. And that was a line that was set for people from the Oceti camp, which is currently undergoing a militarized eviction. That line was set for people to safely be able to cross the frozen river south. And so now that's like basically a safety tool. People are going to cross the river regardless, but now that thing to make sure people don't fall through the ice, that they have something to hold on to, is they're bringing in construction equipment to take that out. And I would guess people would still rather cross this river than being arrested, but now their risk of, falling through the ice, basically their protection against falling through the ice has been taken away. And so just what I was saying before, a note about the Border Patrol. who's operating this helicopter here. Donald Trump is an investor in the Dakota Access Pipeline. You know, he's also the president now and has put forward executive orders, which led to the Army Corps of Engineers granting the easement for Dakota Access to go under the Missouri River and undoing the environmental impact statement process, which was supposed to be begun and could have held up the pipeline for several years. So the Border Patrol is the largest law enforcement agency in America. They're arguably also the most ridden with corruption and scandals. For a while they had a hiring freeze because it was found out that a lot of Border Patrol agents were felons, and many of them were also working for the Mexican drug cartels. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory why the cartel would want to be employing U.S. border agents. That should be clear. But so since Trump's come into office, that hiring freeze has been lifted. They've hired hundreds more Border Patrol agents. Also, their union is one of the largest and most influential, and I would say the most racist law enforcement unions that exists, and Trump courted their endorsement early on. So that whole agency and union is very connected to and really embraces the agenda of the Trump administration, and Trump is invested in this pipeline, and so now you see that agency here supporting North Dakota military police operations against water protectors who are trying to stop the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. And so we're focused, you see this camp on the north side of the Cannonball River and sort of to the right, basically to the north and east of us, basically sort of like if you imagine, you can see where our camera's pointed, if you imagine behind where we're standing and to the right is where the Dakota Access Pipeline route goes, and it goes to where they're drilling under the Missouri River, probably right now. They said last week that it might take them 32 days to complete drilling, so they're allegedly a few weeks away from completing the pipeline. We've also heard that some parts of pipeline construction in Illinois might be incomplete. I don't know about that for sure. But so yeah, they said they were going to come in and evict at 2 p.m. yesterday. They didn't. They did push some people off the road and basically chased and violently assaulted several journalists and other people that were just there, just sort of waiting to see what happened, and then basically got rushed by a group of Wisconsin state troopers who were being directed by North Dakota law enforcement. And so this morning, first what we saw was, you can go back and watch it in our earlier streams. If you go to unicornriot.ninja and click on the live channel, you should be able to find all of our streams from earlier. This should be on our Facebook page as well. We'd rather have you go to our website, though. Go to unicornriot.ninja
a lot of people,
and escape Facebook's content jail.
Not understand
but so basically this morning, people were still in camp. People stayed overnight. We think the numbers grew this morning as people were able to freely come and go across the frozen Cannonball River.
Ultimately for the whole world. Because what was shown here at Standing Rock was that the people, when they come together and they organize, they can in fact go against corporate greed and government, officials using government to protect and to profit from the rape of Mother Earth. We knew for a fact that the governor of North Dakota had investments and was affiliated with Dakota Access Pipeline and Energy Transfer Partners, and we do know for a fact that at some point Donald Trump himself had those affiliations as well. So I think what we can take from this, especially at this moment where we've seen people getting hurt, people getting shot at, people being humiliated, through the court systems, through the judicial systems here in North Dakota, that what we can take from this is that
the sides, I couldn't really see.
Resistance, has to turn into unity for the people, and that unity needs to come from the heart. It needs to come from prayer. However you pray, however you connect to the Creator. And I think what we can take from especially from here, from this movement out, Oceti Oyate Camp, is that it is not over. They might be able to take this camp to be able to allow Dakota Access to keep building their pipeline and keep drill, but ultimately there's people that are going to keep staying out of their camps, and there will be a level of organizing so that they can, through other ways, through the court system or through other ways, be able to stop this pipeline, because the truth of it is that this pipeline is not done yet. And we can definitely do something to, to keep bringing awareness. Please, please also understand that through this whole process, people, independent filmmakers, independent artists, and independent media were key and are continuing until this point right now, being key to truly telling the story. Now, when it comes to indigenous people telling their own stories and documenting their own communities, as we do right now, it is extremely important to acknowledge that, because before we were able to document our own stories, or even allowed to through mainstream media. Before that, we didn't really have a platform, and now what we see through Standing Rock is that independent journalists, independent filmmakers, and independent photographers are going to be the ones that tell the story. We see something going on over there. Sorry about that. Hey.
Laws recently basically restricting people's right to protest, restricting a lot of types of activities that water protectors engage in. They're trying to ban people's right to wear masks. Maybe that law. And they also tried to pass a law that failed to basically legalize running over and killing protesters or water protectors who might be in a roadway. That law didn't pass. I think the mask law passed, but I need to do my research. I'm sorry. Yeah, someone just told us it's still got a bunch of votes in the Senate. So a lot of North Dakota wants it to be legal to run over and kill water protectors if they're standing in the road.
Beginning of it, what do you guys do in the beginning?
But so South Dakota's go.
Governor is Jason Charger from Agu, South Dakota, from the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation. Well, I've been here since day one, since the beginning, April 3rd. The youth has always been here. We did the runs. We did 2 runs. We helped out Oceti. We created a youth council, and we've always stayed active in this movement, but unfortunately youth council isn't here right now. Only me and 3 other youth are here to represent the youth. We're just here to represent ourselves. I mean, a lot of people here are getting arrested. A lot of them are getting really just treated badly here. I mean, we're not doing anything wrong, we're just praying. I mean, 2 of my friends, they said that they're gonna sit there, where they were gonna stand there, gonna pray, and they got like 10 cops on them, and that's not right. I mean, what I've witnessed here is basically what has always been happening to us. The ghost dance with praying. I mean, they're so scared of prayer. The last time we prayed was during the ghost dance. What they did, they shot all of us, and it turned into a massacre. And right now they pushed us from our homes. I mean, we've been living here for almost a year. I've been here for almost a year, and I've been living here. I left home to be here, and they're trying to take me from my home, and it's not right. It's not right.
Well, as like someone that lives here, like, what is the feeling right now? Like, how would you describe the feeling that you have?
It's like someone's trying to take you from your own home. I mean, like a place you've been building yourself, place you put up, place you made your home, stuff that you earned, stuff that you fundraised for, really stuff that you worked really hard for. I mean, I know it's just materialistic, but it's something you built with your own hands, without the help of anybody else, without landlords, without cops, without having to pay bills. It's something your own. You can live by yourself, and with freedom of being oppressed
in the community, right?
Yes, and it's just, all of us here were a family. All of us, like, we know each other. Everybody that are here now, we have nowhere else to go.
Taking stuff out of the ground and stuff, but
we left everything to be here. And
take days or weeks, possibly months.
Can you tell me a little?
We imagine that there will.
Well, like, because know I talked to your sister one time, and she was just telling me how in the reservations right now, especially, you know, a lot of young kids are like trying to commit suicide, and just like they don't have hope, right? They're like oh, you know, this
really emotional,
world
personal,
is hopeless.
You know, family, a very intense bond to this camp,
And
to this place. So I won't be surprised if we see people trying to re-enter, and then police and/or sheriffs and/or military forces here to try to stop them or arrest them, or just intimidate them from coming in the first place. What we saw yesterday with the 2 p.m. eviction deadline and like no announcement or anything leading up to or at 2 p.m. was they basically were trying to do a show of force and intimidation and see how many people they could get to leave without themselves having to really do anything. And based on the amounts of brutality and arrests and injury inflicted by mostly the Morton County Sheriff on water protectors in the past, I think a lot of people left because they didn't want to be injured or locked in dog kennels or pepper sprayed or subjected to strip searches or other dehumanizing treatment. So even though this eviction has been, you know, less violent and less arrests than events in the past, they've basically used the atrocities in the past as leverage to force people out.
The person just fell in the water.
Oh, it looks like someone might have fallen in the water. Yeah, the ice isn't really thick across the river, and the law enforcement did bring in some sort of front loader thing that cut a support line that had been stretched across for people to safely cross. And yeah, if you want to see our reports from yesterday, you can go to our website, unicornriot.ninja. We have a live post with different videos and updates, sort of live stream footage that you can find there or on our Facebook page that you can review. And yeah, if you want to help support us to give you more coverage like this in the future, we've got some more plans for some exciting things we want to cover this year. If you want to help us continue to do that, continue to bring you these streams and videos and reports directly from on the ground of the sites of different social struggles, go to our website, unicornriot.ninja, and click on the tab that says support our work.
Absolutely. Support independent media in the digital age. Unicornriot.ninja. These guys are amazing. They are on the ground everywhere they possibly can be. You're watching OurRevolution.tv, and I'm bringing you the feeds from Unicorn Riot, as well as we were watching BuzzFeed News, also on the ground. Honor the Earth, and Johnny K. Danger, citizen journalist who's been there, activist journalist, been there since August. You are currently watching OurRevolution.tv. Be sure to subscribe. Get notifications for when I do bring these live feeds to folks who don't participate in the Facebook or the other digital platforms. You can follow me on Twitter at OurRevolutionTV. And I'll keep this up for a little bit. My back is out, so I'm stuck at home. But there's stuff like this happening all the time, so I'm going to do whenever I can to bring this this to you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
What do you want for your children?
For me, I want a clean water. I want a safe place to call home. I don't want to be starving. I don't want to be poor. I just want to live my life freely. That's what I want. And I gotta do that here. We gotta hunt. All throughout summer we hunted, we fished, we trapped. And then we stored up food here, and then we came together, we had powwows. It's living with your people without oppression, without money, without needing or wanting, that everything's being provided. provided. You don't have to steal. You don't have to buy. You barter. You trade, and that's a beautiful way to live. And that's what I want. What I experience here is what I want for my children. What I want for my life. I want my children to have a safe future where they can grow up and be whoever they want to be.
So they want to raid. You gonna get going?
Yeah, they're gonna raid both bud right
They're gonna raid it? Yeah, they probably are.
Yeah, they're gonna come over and then come on this side.
Alright, well thank you so much. Here, give me a hug. I'll see you. I'll see you. Take care of yourself, okay?
Good luck.
It's,
I thought that was okay.
Oh yeah, I don't care. No, I don't care. No, I don't. It's super roots right now. Our live feed is like, I have to stand here because if I move, then it doesn't work. Yeah, so that's yeah, for sure. Be careful. There's more cops coming. They're taking down the sweat lodge right now, guys. This is for me, this is personal because they're actually removing a sweat lodge, and they're like breaking it. You guys can see right there. We pray on that lodge. Yeah. It's just like I said before, it's a continuation of the colonial mindset, the colonial ways, you know, and unfortunately most of these folks here, most of these police officers have no understanding of the fact that they're also indigenous, and then that they're ancestors were colonized multiple generations ago. Therefore, you know, they forgot the connection that they have with their songs and their ceremonies and their connection to Mother Earth. So that is what is at play here. This is a manifestation of that colonization, because if somebody, for example, was, you know, of the European descent and understood that their ancestors were tribal people, you know, they probably wouldn't stand for this. They will come to realize that the idea of a pipeline is, in fact, something that does not benefit the whole system, which the system is Earth, and that is the planet that we're living on. Now, a lot of folks can argue that we have a dependency on oil because we drive cars as human beings, and we, you know, use a lot of products that are made out of, you know, out of oil or you know, petroleum. And what we can say to that, and what I think it will be wise to understand, is that there is alternatives, and that there is safer ways to use energy and create energy, which are solar and wind energy. This is something that in a debate, for example, it's really you know, we both sides can argue, you know, about the whole thing, but what's really important is that there is another party in this whole conversation that has no real voice, and that is the Earth. That is the land that you stand on. You know, you're standing on a planet that is flying through space. You're not like this, you know, as human beings, we're not like this, like, you know, super, you know, organism that controls, you know, the fate of a planet. That's kind of stupid to think about that. The fact that, you know, these little beings can control a whole planet that is bigger than them and has more power than them. So, that being the truth, we can agree that a pipeline underneath, you know, being digged through, you know, through the earth, and then being put in underneath a water source, you know, let's disregard the fact that, like, okay, at this point let's disregard the fact that it's near Standing Rock Reservation, right? Let's just say it's just water. It's a freaking water source for like millions of people. How can you argue that that's not stupid and that it's completely dangerous? We've been doing that for a long time, where we've been thinking that it's okay to to do this kind of stuff, but now we're like I said, we're coming to understand that it's no longer okay to do that we have alternatives. And this, what we're witnessing here, Standing Rock, and especially here at the Oceti Camp at this moment, it's that lack of understanding that both sides have valid points, but at the same time we have to really think about that third party in the conversation, which is the Earth, which has no literal voice, and who has the right to have a voice on this whole conversation, because we're just fucking humans. We all die. We're all gonna die. The Earth's gonna continue living. The Earth is not a resource, it's the source of life. So once we desecrate the Earth, we are desecrating ourselves, because we are the Earth. Really, really important way to think about it too. And yes, it's really interesting because all these trolls that
what we're seeing here is the MRAP armored vehicle.
I don't know, man.
Is on the move through camp. We lost it.
It is
Crap.
To, comment on social
there it is.
media.
Okay, so it seems like the MRAP armored vehicle is basically like following a security detail, a bulldozer that's moving through camp. That MRAP armored vehicle says Stutzman County Sheriff on the side. Stutzman County is a county in North Dakota. Most county sheriffs or local police departments have been deployed at one time or another, or like a whole bunch of times, to assist Morton County Sheriff and North Dakota Highway Patrol in their operations against the water protectors out here. When we first noticed that armored vehicle, what?
The MRAP's getting towed out.
Okay, the MRAP's getting towed out of the mud. Okay, so the MRAP's too heavy to bring in the mud. I thought it was following the bulldozer.
I was stuck over there all day.
But, okay, so they probably would have been moving the MRAP more.
Yeah, we got stuck.
Okay, wow. Okay, so sorry everyone. I totally
stuck too.
I thought the MRAP was following the bulldozer, but the bulldozer's actually towing the MRAP out of camp. It looks like they brought the MRAP into the north side of camp earlier this morning. MRAP stands for Mine Resistant Ambush Protected. It was like invented to protect soldiers in Iraq against IEDs and stuff like that. Now they've got it out here just driving around in rural North Dakota for who knows what reason. I think it's mostly a psychological show of force. It's like a pretty universal police tactic, is like bring out lots of vehicles and equipment and weaponry to like get people to leave before they have to actually do any work to make them leave. But so yeah, it seems like they wanted to bring the MRAP into the north camp and probably would have used it as part of this sweep where all the Humvees are. But it seems like we noticed it just sitting there all day, and it seems like it was stuck in the mud. And now they're trying to tow it out the road up the north gate of camp.
Let's see if the Bearcat can get out.
Parked over there, or it's been stuck all over there. A lot of water protectors vehicles got stuck in this mud in the last few weeks. It seems like law enforcement's having the same problem. So the MRAP armored vehicle, it's owned by the Stutzman County Sheriff, but when we first noticed it show up last October, I called the Stutzman County Sheriff, and Stutzman County Sheriff Chad Kaiser himself called me back and was kind enough to answer some questions. He didn't ask what media outlet we were with until I finished asking questions, so maybe that was why he was so forthcoming. We're not really sure. But so I asked him if his people from Stutzman County Sheriff were in that vehicle, and he said, oh no, my guys have the week off. I think this was October 17th, like Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, depending on your view of history. And that was a day when a whole bunch of people were mass arrested, including actress Shailene Woodley. People tried to do like a prayer ceremony on a DAPL work site that day, and a bunch of them got surrounded and arrested. And actually Wisconsin state troopers were present that day as well. But so he told me that his officers or sheriff's deputies weren't actually there, and that the Stutzman County armored vehicle, he said it was operated by the Bismarck Police SWAT team, but I think that actually means the West Dakota SWAT team, which is usually the SWAT guys we see front and center at a lot of these things. which is made up of police officers from the Bismarck Police Department, the Mandan Police Department, and the Burleigh and Morton County Sheriff's Departments. Like officers or deputies with like special tactical crowd control, active shooter training, stuff like that. And we do know that North Dakota specifically requested out-of-state law enforcement with active shooter training. But there's been no active shooters here that we know of, other than law enforcement firing, beanbags and rubber bullets and like stuff like that into crowds. Oh, we don't think that's happened today, to be clear. It's possible it happened on like a small scale inside camp, but we didn't see any of it. I mean, they seem to have really successfully used psychological intimidation and sort of like sit and wait stuff to really get camp to basically evict itself before they came in to seize the territory.
Back on 1806.
Because if they are,
so yeah, the scene here.
Walk in a circle. I gotta warm up.
Yeah, the scene here seems to be pretty calm and motionless for now. There's a little bit of law enforcement that have been moving around, walking on foot on Highway 1806. You can see all these cops here just sort of clustered around their vehicles talking. Seems like these guys in this Jeep are actually North Dakota National Guard. And then on either side of them is either Wisconsin State Patrol, who's been here today and yesterday front and center. We think they're the ones in the black uniforms. Also, Bismarck Police have been wearing black uniforms. We think Mandan Police is here as well. And sort of some of the more brown uniforms to the right is either the Morton County Sheriff or North Dakota Highway Patrol. Or possibly also Burleigh County Sheriff, Cass County Sheriff, Fargo Police. It's a whole smorgasbord of law enforcement agencies out here this entire time. Really took me a while to wrap my head around the difference and distinctions between all of them. So yeah, these like green sort of Jeep type vehicles, I think I've incorrectly referred to them as Humvees in the past, but those are usually like all like National Guard Army looking kind of dudes in them. And I think those are some of the same National Guard that, if y'all remember, before the October 27th treaty camp was evicted, there was, they called it an information point, but it was basically just like a checkpoint roadblock between where the North Camp was and Bismarck. So you could still drive to and from camp in Bismarck, but you'd get stopped by the National Guard who would just sort of be like, oh, where are you going? You going to camp? Make sure you drive careful. But they also, I think they would use that checkpoint to identify people or keep track of traffic coming and going. Some people would drive out of their way to avoid that roadblock. But I think some of these National Guard might be some of the same people we saw at that checkpoint, and a lot of the people we saw there were like kids, like maybe 18, 19, 20 years old. A lot of baby faces.
They're destroying the building.
Oh, okay. They're knocking buildings down. We can hear it crashing. Looks like that they got that person off that roof, and now they've got a front loader just tearing into it. So yeah, the demolition part of this has begun. Oh, the Bearcat's getting towed out too by a bulldozer. So it seems like both the Bearcat and the MRAP got stuck in the mud today. And people have been saying in the days leading up to this that they've been praying for the Wakia, the Thunder Spirits, to come. Some of you might remember our live stream the night before last, Tuesday night. We were doing a quick stream update from the road by camp, and there was a whole bunch of lightning, and then a thunderstorm started. And so some people would say that the Thunder Spirits brought the rain, and that's why the armored vehicles got stuck. I'm not saying whether that's the case or not, but I know some people here feel that way. You can draw your own conclusions about that. So yeah, the arm of that front loader or whatever is just going straight in through the roof there, just tearing the structure down. It's like kicking up a lot of dust and debris. And the crowd has sort of shrunk a little bit, but there's still some people standing on the frozen Cannonball River pretty close to the land that people here say is, or that is unceded territory of the Great Sioux Nation under the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie, but according to the Army Corps of Engineers, this is Army Corps property. So there's some people like just on the edge of the Army Corps, so-called Army Corps property by the frozen Cannonball River. And there's been like no one on behalf of the federal government or the state of North Dakota or the Army Corps of Engineers or Morton County or anything has like really seriously addressed the treaty issues that are implied here. They basically just like passed the buck. Someone asked Morton County Sheriff Kyle Kirkmeyer in a press conference, I think last October, if he thought about the considerations of treaty rights and how this is unceded treaty land, etc. And he said, well, that's a federal problem. That's not my problem. I'm just here to enforce the law and make sure that lawful work gets done in accordance with the law. But treaties signed between, nations, the United States and the Sioux Nation, are supposed to be like the supreme law of the land. But the sheriff is saying like, I don't know about the treaties. That's not my job. I'm just here to enforce the law. But it's like, which laws, So yeah, you can hear sort of like the beeps of equipment moving back and forth. You can hear some materials as the front loader just like tears into that house that person was just removed from on top of. You can hear some of the engines of the Humvees running. It sort of sounds like a generator. I'm just going to try to hold the mic up and just run it for a few minutes so you can just take in the sounds here. There's also someone singing on the hill next to us.
You guys getting taking out the barn?
Is that what that is?
It's a house.
It's a house. It's a full-on house.
Yeah, we've been watching. There was someone on the roof, and then they got him down, and then...
Well, it's crazy. If you want to add it to your color commentary, I was in there earlier today to charge some batteries, and that building is full of tools, equipment, people's things. You can see those vehicles, those trucks parked next to it. Those are water protectors vehicles. I don't know if they're just going to demolish those too, but I know that building is full of propane tanks, gasoline, like it's full of all sorts of batteries, you name it. And if they're just, there's no way they could have cleaned everything out of it by now.
So
if they're just
not have Morton County steal.
There it goes. Look at that.
Equipment.
Yeah, well, they're not just stealing it, but they're just bashing it into the ground. It's like when they puncture those batteries, they're causing a great deal of pollution. When they run over a bunch of motor oil that's in plastic jugs and just demolish it, that's all going right into the water here at the camp. So the notion that they are cleaning up is absurd. By doing it in this haphazard and just offensive manner, they're actually really polluting the area quite a bit.
So you're saying that there's a bunch of like hazardous materials in there that they're like not handling correctly by just demolishing that structure like this?
Exactly. I mean, I was in there earlier charging my phone for some feeds of my own, and it was, you know, there were 10 car batteries in there. There's 50 gallons of motor oil, because that was like, this was a city, and that was the tool shed, lumber yard, construction center. I mean, it was like one of the nerve centers of the place. So sad to see it demolished so quickly.
Okay, so yeah, so we just saw this front loader here break down sort of like a barn type structure. Before we saw a person sitting on top of it. I think eventually law enforcement was able to get up there in ladders and remove them after some time. It took them a while to do it. But so yeah, this person was just describing how like watching this front loader just sort of like just knock into and demolish that building was concerning, because they said there's motor oil, there's car batteries in there, there's propane tanks, and law enforcement and North Dakota's governor said they're so concerned about the pollution implications of this site here, but yet they're by just like haphazardly wrecking that building, they're potentially like releasing all these other materials into the environment here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say the eviction is entirely over, but in terms of like North Dakota's military police establishing territorial control of this portion of land, they have established territorial control. I don't think any of the camps on the reservation side have been evicted at all. There's a pretty heavy federal police presence, both from the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the National Park Service park rangers on the reservation side. Last night, some water protectors were like ejected from their rooms at the casino after, I think one of them filmed a veteran who was a firekeeper here at camp was actually tased by federal law enforcement in the lobby of the casino, and one of them filmed that. And then the casino was saying that it's against casino policy to film employees, or basically if you take any video inside the casino, the Standing Rock Casino is owned by the Standing Rock tribe. It's the Prairie Knights Casino. And I guess their policy is if they see you film it all inside, they'll just kick you out and not refund your room. And so several journalists have been reporting that they were there last night, saw federal law enforcement taking actions against water protectors, and that federal agents working with security of the Prairie Knights Casino, so employees of the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe. The Standing Rock Sioux Tribe owns the Prairie Knights Casino, and security for the casino, working with federal agents, forced people to unlock their phones and delete video documentation of law enforcement activity targeting water protectors at the casino. So we've yet to see any sort of statement or explanation from the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe for those events. And we're going to make sure to ask them for comment on that later.
You said they tried to get us to unlock it?
Wait a second.
And so just another detail that we decided we're going to share about journalists being like harassed and being told they have to delete footage by security at the Standing Rock Tribal Casino last night, basically working hand in hand with federal agents. One of our reporters was present when there was park rangers and BIA agents forcing people out of their rooms at the casino, and someone working security at the Standing Rock Casino thought that they saw one of our reporters filming and basically told our reporter that if he didn't unlock his phone and let him go through the images and video on his phone, that he would have him banned from the casino. Nothing ended up coming of that, but basically this is where things are at right now with the official Standing Rock tribe, is that security employees of the Standing Rock's tribal casino, like, I don't know if federal agents are telling them to do this, but they're like helping federal agents, you know, kick people out of the casino and target them for arrest. And someone was tased in the casino last night. So those are all highly newsworthy events that the public has a right to know about. And yet employees of the Standing Rock tribe, security at the casino, is telling people, like, and the casino is the only place to stay here. If you don't have a place to stay at camp, like, you have to stay at the casino if you want to not freeze to death outside and have hot food to eat. And so reporters are basically being told they have no right to film in there, and people who just that the casino security thinks might have been filming are being told, like, oh, you want to be able to stay in the casino, unlock your phone, let me go through your phone. And so that's a really concerning, a new dimension to the direct attacks on the freedom of the press here, to report on the struggle against the Dakota Access Pipeline, which is ongoing. There's still water protectors all over the place around here. You know, this story isn't over. People still need to report this story. And, you know, people's ability to freely report this story is constantly under threat in, you know, new and changing ways.
Um,
Frick. I don't know what I'm doing here.
So it looks like that front loader is about to demolish, or like somehow not, like try to swing and knock over this other wooden structure here. We're about to see it come down, I think. Yep, yeah, you can sort of hear the impact.
We need a directional microphone.
Isn't this directional?
No, that's like some kind of like Omni something.
So yeah, that structure just came down. I mean, it seems to be, I mean, I'm sure it's part of their cleanup plan, but I think it's also like part of their psychological operations, which we know are part of like what the military studies, and it's the North Dakota National Guard is a key part of like coordinating and making strategy choices for all the operations that these forces are doing out here. And definitely like visually being seen knocking down everything while everyone's watching. You know, like they want people to be psychologically defeated. They want people to leave here with their heads down. You know, you always want to have your enemies feel disempowered. That's a, you know, a principle of warfare and conflict. And, you know, they definitely consider this to be like a military conflict. The military's here. We're pretty sure like the Pentagon through the Army Corps has been like advising these operations as well. You know, and the increased federal involvement, you know, is also pretty obvious. Yeah, you know, Sheriff Paul Laney from Cass County, who, even though he's not really from this area of North Dakota, has been, you know, one of the main shot callers in the logistics of the policing operations against water protectors. You know, he's called everyone out here eco-terrorists. He said this place has become a mecca for eco-terrorists or anyone who wants to respond to hundreds of years of perceived oppression of Native Americans. So, you know, we know that he considers people out here to be terrorists. Energy Transfer Partners Kelsey Warren, or Energy Transfer Partners CEO Kelsey Warren has called people terrorists. Oh, okay. Looks like BIA is getting ready to move in on Rosebud Camp right now. Well, they're not in camp yet.
No.
But they're accumulating outside. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of federal police vehicles. They got 20. We're hearing people on the radio saying there's 20 trucks heading to Rosebud Camp. So we might. And there's, okay, yeah, there's a bunch of federal police officers, probably BIA, with support from park rangers on foot on the south side of the Cannonball River, the south side of the Cannonball Bridge.
Hey, you need to get out. You're gonna get cut off.
So they might try and cut off everyone who's like on this side. Looks like everyone on this Rosebud side might have to move back to the Sacred Stone area to avoid arrest.
Everybody, let's go to safe ground! BIA, 20 vehicles, let's go! High ground, let's go!
Hey, he's still down there. Get out.
So yeah, this is sort of what we expected we might see yesterday when we were expecting the eviction to go down yesterday, where even though it's so-called, it's considered federal property, this Army Corps land, or so-called Army Corps land, even though it's unceded territory of the Great Sioux Nation under the 1868 Fort Laramie Treaty that was signed by the United States government. Just like to reiterate that sometimes we use the terminology the government uses because we want to be accurate in providing context, but also, you know, there isn't consensus between everyone, you know, between Native people and the United States government, whether this is the United States government land. But so that land over there, where we've been showing the eviction take place all day, Sioux Nation treaty territory that's considered by the U.S. government to be Army Corps property, that's now been occupied by like a military police force of the Morton County Sheriff, North Dakota National Guard, support from the Wisconsin State Patrol, etc.
Let's go! Let's go!
What we were thinking we might see is, you know, Morton County and North Dakota's forces push everyone off of that side. Basically, even though that's considered federal land, that's still Morton County on the north side of the river. The south side of the river is reservation land. Morton County, North Dakota Highway Patrol, etc. can't really make arrests here. They don't have legal jurisdiction here. It has to be federal or tribal law enforcement who can make arrests or, you know, press charges here. And so we expected that people would get displaced from the Oceti camp, and then the federal machine on the reservation side would kick in. And so that seems to be what we're seeing. The eviction of Oceti Sakowin is basically over and complete. And now, you know, just minutes after, you know, they basically finished clearing Oceti, 20 federal BIA police and park ranger vehicles are now moving up the Cannonball Bridge, also accumulating on the south side of the bridge. We haven't seen them move into Rosebud Camp yet. We did see them in there earlier today, a few vehicles talking with people and stuff. So we have,
They're in there.
yeah, so BIA, federal police, probably park rangers as well, are on foot entering the Rosebud Camp, which is on the Standing Rock Reservation. The Standing Rock Reservation last year passed a resolution endorsing Sacred Stone Camp, saying they wanted prayer camps against the pipeline on the reservation. But now they've more recently passed a reservation to get rid of all the camps here, really changing their tune. So yeah, BIA federal police officers are entering the Rosebud Camp right now.
Let's go! Let's go!
So yeah, we've known there was coordination between BIA, federal police, and Morton County. The governor in his press conference yesterday said that they were coordinating with BIA on how to handle, the reservation side of the problem, as they see it.
Okay, so this is BIA moving into Rosebud.
And, historically, if you study things like the American Indian movement or even how Sitting Bull was killed by tribal police here in North Dakota, it's usually, native governments, tribal governments that are one of the main instruments of counterinsurgency against native resistance. And so we're seeing that here today with the BIA evicting anti-pipeline camps on the reservation with the blessing of the Standing Rock tribal government. Just the night after, employees at the Standing Rock Casino were, harassing journalists and demanding they delete footage off their phones. Looks like someone's walking away from the BIA police, but they might get arrested.
Yeah.
It's unclear. They might try to advance all the way up to the hill we're on and force us to stop reporting, but we're going to keep rolling as long as we can, or until it seems like a good time to stop. And yeah, the Trump administration recently dispatched 20 extra Bureau of Indian Affairs federal police officers to the reservation. They've also sent, I don't know how many, easily dozens of National Park Service park rangers to be like federal law enforcement reinforcements. And we also know there's ATF and probably FBI here as well. And so basically all water protectors, unless some are somehow remaining in the Oceti camp, like hidden, anyone who's not hidden still in Oceti is going to be on the reservation side, and now it's federal law enforcement.
Yeah. Still talking. Yeah, huh? They're after him. They got him mad. Yeah. You guys spoke too much truth.
I called them their hosts. They got pissed. Is that tear gas or what are we smelling?
Oh, there's a fire over there.
It smells almost like tear gas.
Okay, yeah, you may have heard that sound. There's more wooden structures being demolished by that front loader thing on the north side of the river in Oceti after the North Dakota military police took it over.
They made it sound like they were just right here. Yeah. Sorry, at least we got them out of there because I had a hard time running up.
And so, yeah, there's BIA federal police officers advancing on foot through the Rosebud camp just over the frozen Missouri River from the Oceti-Sakowin encampment, which was just evicted and is currently occupied by different armed forces from North Dakota and also the Wisconsin State Patrol, sent here under the Emergency Management Assistance Compact. And so those forces that just took over the Oceti camp, their jurisdiction ends at the river.
I can't move fast.
What do you say?
Possible vehicles coming our way.
Thank you very much.
Can you hold this? I want to put my stuff together.
Yeah.
We might get pushed out of here in a second. We're going to get ready to move fast. We're reporting here because we believe we have the right to report here and that the public has a right to know. This is a really important matter of public concern, and we're here to show what's happening to the public. But, we know that North Dakota and Morton County doesn't respect that, and we're not really totally expecting that federal forces will respect that either. So we're just going to get ready to move out of here quick if we need to. But we haven't been contacted or given any sort of orders by law enforcement of any kind. I got to get this off the tripod. Hope that was just a scare. No, that's not BIA. That's just like people.
Oh, down there, yeah.
Yeah, those are like the same people.
Oh,
in
that
the river.
the BIA's in the camp, and there's a bunch of people standing around still.
They would have had to come up through Sacred Stone to get where we're at. I think it's fine.
I know. Fuck.
But it's good
Either
to
it's
pack.
fine or it's not. There's only so many places to go. I can only run so far.
You ever see a view of the people walking right there? Is that Samson or Sam? With the dreads? They're all walking this
Behind the tree?
Yeah, he's right. He's walking this way. We can see the tree.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the figure. He's going to come out of the tree now.
Yeah, what about? He's got a bike?
Alright, yeah, is that Samson with the dreads?
Uh-huh.
Sam?
Yeah,
He's
I
got
think so.
dreads, lots of dreads,
I
3
think
legs of
so.
dreads. I'm looking for somebody in a black jacket that has one green stripe on it. Have you seen that at all?
No.
I saw her walking that way. Like, what? I saw her walking that way. Why are you walking that way?
Alright, so again, Oceti Oyate Camp has been taken over and occupied by the police and military forces, and right now Rosebud's being invaded, and people might be getting arrested soon by federal BIA police, and then we got word that we might be getting surrounded ourselves by federal police. So if we have to run, come along on the ride, and hopefully we'll still stream it.
I'm just going to go head up the hill and see what I can see. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's her. Doing down there. You see the green stripe on the back of a black jacket? Two people standing there now.
I can't see it.
If it's not, maybe it's before doing it.
Yeah. You see all those Fed cars? They just all rolled up, like 20 of them, and then they walked in. Yeah.
Yeah, they're walking down the hill.
They're about halfway through Rosebud right now.
They're going through camp? Yeah.
So what's up, revolutionaries? DC. Sorry, Nine Tails, Cosmic Fox. That timeout wasn't for you, but I misclicked. But thanks everybody that have been hanging out with me, watching this stream from, this is Unicorn Riot, currently bringing us occasional audio updates as to what they are seeing as the Rosebud, quote, Rosebud part of the camp is the last part, apparently, of this eviction process today in Standing Rock. And we've been watching live streams from, of course, Unicorn Riot, BuzzFeed News, Johnny Dangerous, Honor the Earth, all independent and or citizen journalists out there bringing you this newsworthy event today. Apparently the mainstream media was there yesterday, and they aren't there today, which might be why they did not move on the camp while they were there, and they decided to do it today, leaving it in the hands of citizen journalists and independent digital media. Thanks everybody for watching, and this is pretty much the only stream that's coming out right now that I can find. If you know of any other more streams, let me know. But my back is seriously messed up today, and I am definitely enjoying the disassociativeness of legal California medical cannabis while I bring you this stream from Unicorn Riot. So,
So you can see in this shot BIA, Bureau of Indian Affairs, which is actually a sub-department of the Department of the Interior, but I think they also get directives from the Department of Justice sometimes. So they've sort of formed, not really aligned, but they're sort of like holding this spot here on this road, and then some people a ways down from them have been like throwing some debris in the road and stuff to try to like inhibit any vehicle traffic that might come down through this area. They could potentially access Sacred Stone through here. BIA served LaDonna, the landowner and founder of Sacred Stone Camp, an eviction notice last week, saying that she had 10 days to prove she wasn't trespassing on land that is hers. Basically saying that all these people were there without the permission of the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe. But there's actually documentation of a declaration made by the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe last year, basically endorsing Sacred Stone Camp, saying they think it's great that there's prayer camps around the pipeline, and basically saying that's a thing that was wanted and welcome on the reservation. So there's a pretty gnarly legal contradiction, or two different documents that are in conflict with each other. And I don't know. It's possible that legal contradiction will need to get settled before they'll be able to evict Sacred Stone Camp. Or Trump's president and this other eviction took place, and BIA could just come in and evict Sacred Stone Camp just because they want to and they don't give a fuck. It's not really clear how that's going to go down. But they might be able to, hold that space for a while. There's still a fair amount of people there. It's definitely the largest camp here now. Sort of smells like tear gas or pepper sprays in the air, but I think it's because people are burning tires down the way.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we're already seeing, there's like a line of like 20 federal police between BIA and park ranger vehicles just stretching down from the south side of the Cannonball River Bridge, stretching off, for, I don't know, a few hundred yards there. And
There's more BIA on the road.
I think we're going to continue to see an escalation of like the federal law enforcement presence on the reservation side now that all these water protectors have been, most of the left Oceti yesterday, with the threat of violence and arrest from North Dakota law enforcement and military. But now that everyone's actually been pushed out, we're seeing, like federal law enforcement really kick into gear in terms of like harassing and arresting people and following people on the reservation, pulling people over, setting up checkpoints, things like that. In addition to, tasering that person at the casino last night, and Standing Rock Tribal Casino security staff telling journalists they have to unlock their phones and delete footage that they recorded as part of their work as journalists. That's the situation that we're in here reporting this story. And so yeah, basically all the police and military forces that were deployed for the Oceti Sokoan eviction today are still there. You can see there's I think those are actually police officers that just look like soldiers. Yeah. But they might be the National Guard, you know. I mean, technically and you know, bureaucratically, there is an important distinction between the police and the military. But in terms of their appearance and behavior, you know, they're basically the same. If anything, the police are, you know, the police and sheriffs are more direct and more physical, more involved in making arrests and using violence than the military, because I think the optics and perception management of if people see the police or the sheriffs making arrests, it seems more normalized, whereas if like the military is arresting people, you know, might be more likely to get upset. I think that's something they keep in mind when they just have the National Guard just chauffeuring the sheriffs and police around, basically, and doing administrative and logistical work, I think is what the previous governor said when he activated the National Guard. They're freeing up more law enforcement to act against people, you know, by just having the National Guard do, you know, yeah, like drive the buses, drive people to jail, drive the Humvees, but it's like sheriffs and police, you know, most of the boots on the ground and, you know, the ones actually swinging the batons and tightening the handcuffs. Yeah. Okay, so Bureau of Indian Affairs, Federal Police are advancing further down the path, basically between Rosebud. I think this is sort of like the outskirts of Rosebud at this point. They're advancing in the direction of Sacred Stone. It's not clear how far they're going to go. But yeah, it's Bureau of Indian Affairs, part of the Department of the Interior. Technically, they're like, I think the only police force with jurisdiction on the Standing Rock Reservation. Well, now they've brought in park rangers and stuff, but okay, so they're stepping over some, like a little slash pile barricade that was put in their way. You see them tossing some pieces of wood out of the way and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, BIA is advancing. They're sort of like herding people away from them. No one's getting too close to them. This person's sort of slowly backing away as BIA is walking towards them. But yeah, I've always found it sort of telling that the name of the BIA is the Bureau of Indian Affairs and not the Bureau of Native American Affairs or anything. You know, it really shows how the historical colonial roots are like present here today. So yeah, more federal police, yeah, moving that slash pile out of the way, moving towards people. Yeah, it looks like they're about to arrest this person. There's other BIA.
SWAT dude behind him with a gun. Can you see him? He's in like really solid camo.
No.
Actually works pretty well.
Okay, so Our camera person is saying that there's a SWAT guy behind them with a gun. Yeah, so they're now sort of encircling around that TP, walking past it to continue pursuing people down this footpath. So we heard one of them has a gun. I'm going to try to see if I can see it better.
This guy?
Which guy?
I'm zoomed in on him.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who that is. That
Tactical dude.
national? That must be some sort of federal agent. I doubt he's from the North Dakota side.
Yeah, they got some guy.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's like a federal marshal or maybe some tactical SWAT guy from the Park Service. So the park rangers, these days people generally think of like the Park Service tweeting things that are not what Trump wants them to tweet, but there's actually a long history of park rangers, you know, being used to put down protest movements. A lot of different Earth First eco-defense campaigns have had to tangle with the park rangers. There's been like excessive force and police brutality lawsuits filed by park rangers or against park rangers before by different environmental protesters who've, you know, had violence done to them while they're trying to defend different ecological sites against, you know, destructive industrial projects.
Down on the bank over here. Okay, there's a whole bunch of dudes with long rifles coming down and crossing the river.
Where are they? Oh, okay. We have on the side where North Dakota's coming from, we have some armed men who look like they're crossing the river. They seem to be in like Morton County or North Dakota uniforms. They're clearly about to just walk right across the Cannonball River into an area where they're not supposed to have jurisdiction. Maybe they're just walking along the edge of the river there. Or are they going to cross it? They're trying to decide if they want to cross the ice. They're walking across the ice, sort of testing it. We're going to be ready to grab up all this stuff and bounce if those cops come at us. I guess we'll see them coming.
Yeah, I mean, we got to.
You need me to put anything in my pockets?
Fuck.
So yeah, you can see these three men are like heavily armed from, they seem to just be occupying a position in the middle of the river, maybe to try to intercept anyone that BIA chases onto the frozen Cannonball, the Cannonball River. You want to zoom in on like the cops and those people there?
Yeah, I'll try. There's a tree in the way.
Yeah, sorry, there's a tree obstructing our view, as I'm sure you can see. But so yeah, there seems to be a standoff. It's unclear if the BIA is going to advance any further, but they did sort of form a line and chill for a while before and then push forward anyway. I don't know if they might have orders to only advance past a certain point. I would recommend not continuing to do that. He's like he's falling.
Yeah, but it gets a better signal there.
Yeah, so the BIA has been walking forward. People have been retreating. We haven't seen them make any arrests. It's possible they made some when they were further on the west end of things before they came closer into our sites. Gonna try to step around here and just look with my own binoculars and see what I can see real quick. So what I'm narrating might be slightly different than what you're seeing on the stream. So there's like water protectors lined up on this path, sort of a dirt road that's been created by vehicle traffic over the months. So yeah, there's some BIA officers standing around closer to the river, and then others still standing on that footpath. They just sort of seem to be standing there and just staring at the line of water protectors that's formed on the path. I can't really tell if they're going to try to advance further or not, or if they've just been told to hold that space. Okay. I was trying to see shit. So the audio levels drop down when it went away?
No, it'll start going crazy.
Okay.
We'll just hit interference and drops.
Okay, sorry if there was any noise. I might have walked a little too far for our wireless mic. Got a little over enthusiastic trying to get a better angle.
We should just like call it and dip.
Yeah. Okay, so if BIA looks like they're going to come up this hill, we're gonna, walk away so that we can continue to report this story for you in the coming days. And we can't really report in jail. We've gone to jail here before and weren't able to report while we were in there.
Most people didn't believe that, based off of what they've done in the past, what they did, smashing the NEP.
You want to show that sweat lodge real quick? So this structure here, it's now been crushed and demolished but that's in an EP, which is the traditional word for a sweat lodge, which is basically, it's considered a sacred site, kind of like a church for a lot of people who practice their indigenous spiritual practices. And I think his name was Levi. Oh man, I knew his name yesterday. But anyway, someone who's been sent here repeatedly every day to talk to people here from the Office of the Governor of North Dakota said, yes, we're aware of the NEPs, we're aware of the sacred structures that were here, and we'll respect them. But that NEP or sweat lodge structure was just crushed in earlier by either law enforcement vehicles or construction or destruction equipment. So their promises to respect sacred items is clearly they're not keeping those promises. Okay, there's a bulldozer moving through Rosebud.
Blockade.
And earlier, on my earlier feed, I could say Brian, he was right in the area of that exact NEP as they rushed the final 5% of land and rushed people on the water. And there was a grandmother that was praying by the NEP. They said she had 5 minutes to leave. They then gave her 1 minute. They arrested her. And they let her hand the pipe off. They did arrest her, so they are very aware that that's an NEP. They arrested her, but they did respect the handing off of the pipe. They did not respect the
It's coming down the road. It's got a main road. Yeah, right there. It's got that barricade on it.
I guess that's what this is.
Okay. I'm gonna. Chairman Fraser's down to do an interview. So do you think we'd be able to stand right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay if I just interview you right here in front of our shot? Okay, so hi everyone. We've got Chairman Harold Fraser from the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe who's up here and was kind enough to agree to do an interview with us. So Chairman Fraser, I guess if you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself really quick, and could you describe what you think you've seen happen here today and what your thoughts are on it?
Yeah, my name's Dakota. Harold Fraser. I'm chairman of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe, and to be honest, what I've seen today is pretty sickening. I mean, really disappointed. It's a sad day, but like in our history, we'll rise again. And I feel more defiant more than ever. There's a lot of things that North Dakota has done that they need to pay for. To destroy sacred sites, ceremonial lodges and such. You know, they have to be held accountable. How would they feel if we went over there and burnt the church down? You know, so it's the same concept, and they have no respect for our way of life and for all of the people in the camp. You know, now North Dakota say there's a lot of trash. Now they could say that, and this trash is caused by them. And I'm just very disappointed, and not really very good sight to see everybody here, and you know, and then I think it's time in Indian country to get rid of the BIA. You know, I've been chairman for several terms, and come down to it, they haven't really taken care of us Indians, whether it's at the local level or at the national level. So that's a crusade that I intend to start promoting and going on, is to get rid of the Bureau of Indian Affairs. It's time. You know, they served their time, so they need to be let go. So, thank you.
I read that recently there's been some new legal filings filed against the Dakota Access Pipeline in court, and so the Cheyenne River Tribe's been a part of that. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, on the 21st we had a hearing for TRO, and it was denied. However, this coming Monday on the 27th of February, we're going to have a hearing on our preliminary injunction. And prior to that, this Saturday on the 25th in our camp, which is south of here, Cannonball, we're asking for all pipe carriers and sundancers to gather and to have a prayer, a common prayer, so, you know, get a good result, decision. So hopefully the courts will be more favorable this round.
And so there's this new Cheyenne River camp that's set up, you know, south on 1806 from the Oceti camp. Can you talk a little bit about why that camp was set up, and do you think that camp will stay here, and what role do you think that will play as things develop here?
Well, you know, originally with the amount of snowfall that we received, I really thought that this area would really be flooded. So that was a priority of ours, is to get our members and the people safe. And that's why we negotiated a lease with a private landowner, and we set that camp up. You know, we'll be still there, you know, regardless of what happens, and we're going to stay and continue to fight this pipeline. So.
And so yeah, I guess, how do you feel? So like this eviction's taken place, the BIA is coming into Rosebud, the Cheyenne River camp will still be here. Just in general, what do you think? In terms of, other than like the court stuff that's coming up, what do you think is next, both for like the struggle against the Dakota Access Pipeline, but also like indigenous liberation in general? What do you think will be happening, you know, like later this year?
Well, you know, one of the things that I've seen and experienced is that I first personally felt that as an Indian person, we have no civil rights. And that's something that I intend to do nationally, is get legislation so we can have our own civil rights law. But lately what I see, everybody doesn't have any civil rights here. You know, one of the things that, and I studied this because right now the governor of South Dakota, he has got some legislation drafted in preparation of protesting of the XL pipeline. And this legislation, similar to North Dakota's, they're really stepping on the First Amendment rights of all Americans. It seems like both of these states have a issue with, they call outsiders, but yet they sure promote the state for tourism. So, but, you know, in my reviewing the First Amendment, you know, I view it as, you know, sure, it's the federal government's responsibility to ensure all of us are free, freedom of speech, press, and so forth, but it doesn't mention state governments. So I think maybe nationwide we need to wake up and we need to put these state governments in check, you know, just like they done to the federal government back in, you know, when the Constitution was drafted. So that's something I see that needs to happen, is some legislation to protect people nationwide to be able to voice their concerns.
And so something else I wanted to ask. Recently, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe passed a resolution to close Sacred Stone Camp, saying they don't want like any more camps on the reservation. Are you worried about that affecting the Cheyenne River Camp? And also, just in general, how do you think that's going to affect things here moving forward?
Well, you know, we mean no disrespect to any other tribe, but you know, our reservation, we're the Hohoju people, and Hohoju means like willows along the river, and that's who we are. We've always been around this river, and that's why we're here, to protect the river. That river is life to our people, and you know, I hope they don't try to clean the camp, but you know, we mean no disrespect to Standing Rock or to any Indian nation, but we got to fight for our survival as well. And that's why we're here.
But so you think with that camp being on private land, it should, like, do you think you expect it to be permitted to stay there for a while?
Well, you know, legally, yes, you know, that land, I kind of don't want to talk too much about it because that's owned by a private person, but it is in fee status, and generally, you know, tribes really don't have jurisdiction on fee land. So, but, you know, like I said, again, we don't mean to disrespect any tribe and so forth.
Cool. So I guess, yeah, is there anything else you want to say about, what you think is going on here today, or what you think comes next?
We will be back!
All right, thanks. For anyone who just tuned in, that was Chairman Harold Frazier of the Cheyenne River Sioux Tribe. Just gave us an interview here on this slope. We've been live streaming the eviction of the Oceti Oyate encampment all day. We also just streamed BIA Federal Police moving in to evict the Rosebud camp on the reservation side, on the south side of the Cannonball River. If you can zoom in down here, there's still BIA agents or federal police there. Looks like one of them's like holding some teepee pole or something. Like they've been either taking some structures down. There's a bulldozer on the road that's clearing a slash pile that some water protectors had erected before to sort of slow the advance. Wait, are people?
They put up their own blockade too. There's a Jersey blockade. Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
They brought in there.
Okay, wait. Where's that? Where is it?
I got it.
Oh, yeah, they put in a concrete Jersey barrier. Okay, so maybe that's the line that they're going to hold, because we don't think they're going to move on Sacred Stone Camp today. Sacred Stone Camp was given a 10-day eviction notice last Thursday. So if they are, in fact, evicted, Sacred Stone Camp wouldn't be evicted until next week if the 10 days holds as of last Thursday. The legal grounds for Sacred Stone Camp to be evicted seems kind of murky, since the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe is saying they're trespassing, but then there's also a declaration from the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, you know, endorsing and welcoming the camp. So maybe that contradiction will get worked out, or it will be forced one way or the other in the next few days, or it won't. You know, we'll see, but we'll let you know when we know what happens. And so, yeah, I gotta rest my voice for a minute. And so, yeah, we're going to take the stream down. We'll bring it back up to you if there's any more developments. But, yeah, the Oceti Oyate encampment hasn't been cleared in terms of all the structures, but the military and police forces did move in. They established a perimeter. They arrested several people. They demolished several structures, including Inanipi, which is a sacred sweat lodge site. People from the governor's office had said that they would respect sacred items and sacred structures. It seems that they broke that agreement, or that agreement wasn't properly communicated to law enforcement, who did crush in an Inanipi sweat lodge structure. Just on the north side of the Cannonball River, on the southeast corner of the Oceti camp. There's still lots of law enforcement massed there by their Humvee military vehicles, and we're imagining that there's going to be they're going to be hauling structures and debris out of there for days to come, and that there will be an ongoing military police occupation of this territory, until they feel like no one's going to come back. And with a lot of people having a really intense emotional connection to this place, a lot of people having lived here. For some people, this is their only home. You know, we've heard that some people from the Standing Rock Reservation are homeless and have been living here. So we're sure that the sheriffs and the police and the National Guard are concerned about people trying to re-enter, and they will continue to, enact this occupation of here. On October 27th, after they evicted the North Treaty Camp, they established a barricade on the Backwater Bridge, and they've held that ever since, and they've actually steadily moved it forward, basically expanding their militarized perimeter, which now basically protects the entire perimeter of the Dakota Access Pipeline to where it goes under the Missouri River to the east. And so we expect that now that perimeter will just have been bumped up to the north end of the Cannonball River Bridge, And as you can see, there's federal police accumulated at the south end of the bridge. So we expect this situation to continue indefinitely with this military police occupation of unceded Sioux Nation treaty territory under the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie. But no one from the federal government or the state of North Dakota really seems to be too concerned about the treaty stuff. So we think they will continue occupying this site indefinitely, I would say for weeks or probably months to come. And so this has been Unicorn Riot reporting live from just inside the Standing Rock Reservation. The camp eviction we've been showing you is just over the reservation border. That's the Cannonball River, which is frozen, which basically separates the reservation from Morton County and, you know, so-called Army Corps land, also treaty land of the Sioux Nation over there. So yeah, we're going to bring our stream down and try to figure out what to cover for you next out here. Yeah, we're completely supported by donations by our viewers and supporters. So if you want to go to our website, unicornriot.ninja, and click on the tab that says support our work, you can help us continue. We rely almost entirely on single and recurring online donations to fund, to be able to travel out here, to be able to eat, to be able to buy gear, pay for gas, get wireless hotspots so we can bring you the stream right now, bring you this camera with this dope zoom. So we've been able to stay safe but show you this entire eviction from start to finish. And also, if you go to our website, unicornriot.ninja, you can see our reports from yesterday, a breakdown of the timeline of the eviction was supposed to happen at 2 p.m. No law enforcement really moved in to closer to 4 p.m. But the eviction itself, as you see, actually took place today, and it looks like the Rosebud camp is being evicted as well. Okay, so we're going to take the stream down for real now. Check out our website, unicornriot.ninja. Peace.
And that, of course, was Unicorn Riot's live stream from Standing Rock, the Oceti Camp. And he's going to rest his voice, and I'm going to rest my back. So I thank you for watching the breaking news and only coverage, apparently, other than, well, not in the mainstream. All citizen journalists, independent digital journalists out there. Unicorn Riot, BuzzFeed News is out there. Honor the Earth was live streaming, and of course, Johnny Dangerous, who's been out there since August streaming. You've been watching OurRevolution.tv. Please subscribe and get notifications so when I can bring you events like this surrounding the political revolution and the voices of resistance against the oligarchs, Donald Trump et al., including the Democrats, people. I include the Democrats in that list. And speaking of that, we have a big change possible here in Los Angeles. District 34, California District 34, is a special election to replace Javier Becerra, and we have a real chance to break the duopoly and send the first green to U.S. Congress, if for no other reason other than his progressive values, his heart, and his platform, to send a message to the establishment that we want more choices. So I'm supporting Kenneth Mejia. And here's a little bit from his team.
I'm Deborah.
My name is Dave Conan.
I'm Tanya.
My name is Jim. I support Kenneth Mejia for Congress.
I am supporting Kenneth Mejia for District 34.
I'm supporting Kenneth Mejia for Congress.
I'm supporting Kenneth Mejia for Congress.
Kenneth Mejia for Congress.
He has the life experience, the professional experience, and the commitment to serve our community and our country.
He's pure, he's clean, he's green. I love him. He's a real Bernie rat.
For the people, by the people. And that's what we stand for. But we need someone to actually fight for the people. And Kenneth Mejia is the right voice for that.
I believe in Ken, and his platform includes Medicare for All, which should be a human right for all.
I want somebody who's going to come in there and who's actually going to represent me, the people, and do what the people want and say, you know something, I don't need your check for $450,000, okay? I have the power of the people behind me.
He is a public servant. He's out there on the streets helping the homeless. We need representatives who care for us, the people,
not the corporations and not the lobbyists. We need someone to fight for us.
It's time to break the two-party system. That's why I'm supporting Kenneth Mejia for Congress.
Everyone's coming together. It's all about love and unity.
I think this is going to be a game changer when we get him in Congress.
People over profits.
That's Kenneth Mejia, and that's why I'm supporting